Uh, Um, and move to approve all of the items on the first bullet. And need to amend to approve the items minutes listed on the first.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Do I have a motion to convene into executive session?
Motion to convene to executive session, approval of executive session minutes for August 5th, 2005, and all of bullets within in bullet one. Review and approve matters which relate to the privacy of students and their records pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 8, homeschool request. Grant of temporary easement of Rhode Island DOT at Hope Elementary School pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 5, disposition of real property. And superintendent contract extension pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 1, job performance of an individual.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And the first line of business is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to report out that in executive session, 2 votes were taken, one to approve the executive session minutes for August 5th, 2025, and to approve the homeschooling requests. I'd like to make a motion to move item 10 in new business and item 11 in new business out of order so that our principals can get home to their children's birthday parties and other things. And I don't see Mike Hassel here. So if we want to start with the elementary handbook. Oh, so I make a motion to take that out of order. Second. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening. We are presenting on our elementary handbook. Not too many changes this year. I would say that Becca's the expert since she was here last year. She's in the ladies' room. Thanks, Lori Boudiette. One of the changes that we did create was a elementary behavior guidance. So that just spells out what are the different behaviors and different consequences that would be in there so that we're consistent between the 3 schools.
We updated obviously all the school committee members and the school addresses and principals. The electronic device policy was also revised based on what the high school had their policy. So we kind of mirrored that in Oz. And the student code of conduct, which has the behavior infractions and consequences in it as well. We really spent a lot of time looking over other school districts and really looking at what had been created last year from our school social workers and mental health counselors and kind of aligned the tiers of interventions and behaviors with consequences. The homework policy pretty much stayed the same. I'm trying to look at the standards-based report card and the learner qualities were added to match the changes that were implemented last year. The 5 learning qualities, the self-directed learner, which is how it's on a standards-based report card, how that was changed. The self-directed learners, innovative collaborators and creators, empathetic and active citizenship, resilient thinkers and problem solving, and the effective communicators. And then the marking periods were adjusted as well as report cards.
That was more clerical, just to make the update for this year.
And then the dates for parent-teacher conferences. Last year, we went to go to 1 day and extend the time limit, but we found that it still wasn't enough time for teachers to meet with all of their parents, given some of the class sizes. So we decided to go back to the 2-hour blocks, 2 days, the first one being 3:30 to 5:30 and the second one being from 5 to 7. I don't see anything else. We adjusted the lunch changes. And I know there was a change with the individually buying school milk. There was lots of discussion over that over the summer.
Yep. And we were able to make that change. So now students for 50 cents can purchase a milk if they just want one.
Just milk alone instead of the lunch. Stephanie? No. So kids that wanted to purchase just milk and didn't have money in their account couldn't buy milk. And I'm like, no, I can't tell a student that they can't have milk. That's like, something tells me that's not right. So we brought that to the table and Stephanie helped us work that out. And that was clearly communicated with everyone. The attendance policy states that the excused student absences require the proper documentation. Chronic absenteeism may still result in a referral. There was a lot of discussion about the attendance policy and how the Scituate school can accept a doctor's note for an absent, but on the state side, it's still counted as an unexcused absence. So next year we may revisit that and further because it was a hard thing for parents to understand this year. You know, if they brought a doctor's note in for their child, why are they for a week, you know, they were sick, why are they still getting an chronic absentee letter when every absence was excused in their eyes? So that was like something that we will look further into next year. We changed a couple of things on the dress code, nothing major, just kind of talked about the shoes at recess so kids weren't falling, getting hurt, making sure that they weren't wearing open-toed, strongly suggesting against open-toed shoes, as well as for gym. And the FERPA notification, we added that piece.
Yeah.
Becca, you have anything you want to add? Well, we're just like jumping in. FERPA, we I think we took this right from the document and made sure that we had that implemented in there. Oh, it's going. Right. The school directory information was updated. Title IX, that information was updated in here as well. And the link is to that document and Mr. Hassel being the contact for now, moving forward. And he'll also be presenting to the staff, the staffs on the next faculty meeting.
Yep.
Sorry about that. And a lot of the schools sent this out. Did we send this out digitally?
Yes.
And a lot of people signed off digitally, so we prevented those paper documents. Unless they requested or things like, and I think a couple schools still did it on paper, but we were like trying to bridge people and kind of cut down the paper. Yeah, it's a paperwork nightmare. Kyle was great at helping to put the Google form in together to sign off on all of those things at once, one sign off, and then we could print it out and see who was missing. Yeah, it was really great. Any questions?
I have one. I'm not sure if it's a typo. It's just how I'm reading it, but regarding the dress attire, which I have as slide 18, the first one says shorts are permitted, but must be at least finger length when the arms are extended. Isn't it finger length from the knee? What's the finger length?
Finger length, like when they put their hands down by their side.
Oh, it's at the end of the fingers.
end of the-
Okay. I always forgot how,
Out to their sides, should it say?
no, it was the fingers. I couldn't, when arms are extended at their
Yeah.
sides. No,
Yeah,
it was me reading it wrong.
it's been in here. I just wasn't sure that it was consistently followed or addressed, or maybe it wasn't worded the same.
And that's something that was always been there. I mean, it was for me, but I was like, I always
thought
had it.
so.
We always
Yeah.
had it. I always thought it was from the knee, but it's, you're right. It's at the end of our fingers.
The tip of their
Sorry,
fingers.
but thank you for clarity.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to accept the elementary handbook?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Still no Mr. Hassel? Oh, Mr. Hassel. You are up.
Oh, yeah. You say jump, we say how high, Mr. Hassel. Oh.
Thank you, everyone. So we've done a lot of work on the Scituate High School parent-student handbook. You'll see in here a lot of crossouts. Most of the handbook is proposed to be deleted, And the reason why is because the subcommittee of the school committee and ultimately this school committee approved a code of conduct policy. So we really aligned. That's kind of a more general, as policies should be, a more general guideline. And this one has a link in there that actually speaks to the actual procedures. So we felt that this is my 10th year as principal. I'm fortunate to be here for 10 years, but over 10 years, we have tweaked this, improved it every year, looking at best practice. What we're proposing to delete kind of makes up for it in the code of conduct, and the code of conduct is a lot more detailed. So it's a lot more black and white. The older handbooks were kind of, if you do this, then in general, this could happen. You could be subject to disciplinary. This actually has, and again, aligned to policy, a definition of all of those. What does that look like? It's a lot more restorative. Any mention of like tobacco use or substance abuse, it's aligned. We're good. Can you hear me? There we go. It's aligned to best practice. We actually have two vape detectors that we're ready to install in the middle school, in the high school boys and girls bathroom. In order to get approved for that grant, so they were free to Scituate schools, we aligned our best practice restorative practices in the handbook around substance abuse. So just things like that. I know it's a lot of information. Again, this is the most strikeouts and proposed deletes that we've had, but the kind of meat and potatoes of the handbook is in the code of conduct. Any specific questions about the high school handbook?
Has the alma mater always been in there, or do you just throw that?
Yeah,
Has it
no,
been there?
it's always been before me.
Any questions?
Anything you think needs to be updated, Mike, that hasn't been like just followed up? Is there anything, I know we've spoken about this before, that policy had to be updated to, obviously a lot of that's been done. Is there anything else that you've identified that you're hindered on this as opposed to policy not being the most current? Does it make sense what I'm asking?
It does.
Okay.
And I have to say kudos to this committee because over the past couple of years, you have done a great job of updating those policies that affect this. As far as like suspensions and, weapons in school, and those have all recently been updated. So that made a lot of the strikeouts, like
Yeah.
it made it easy, like refer to this district policy. And then, it gives school principals a lot more background, and it's, transparent to families as well. This is what it is.
And we will continue to work with the principals around policy development and amendment. So there's one that will go at the next policy committee meeting for the secondary specifically.
No questions? Thank you so much.
Hold
I
on.
appreciate it.
I should have asked the elementary principals the same question and I forgot. Is there anything currently in policy that is prohibiting? I know like a lot's been updated to change to reflect. Are there any other policy that you've identified that we should be looking at in order to make everything align with your handbook?
Back and like update the policy that exists on the website, match what in the handbook, if we found something that was.
But I mean, so you can't update the policies, right? Like the policy committee. So is there anything in policy right now because we did have quite a bit over the last, and a lot has been done in the last couple of years, that is not aligned with what your handbooks are saying? Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the high school handbook? Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Consent agenda, the minutes for the regular session minutes for August 2nd, 2025. And
August 5th.
what did I say?
You said second.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Guess I can't do numbers tonight. August 5th, 2025 and August 13th, 2025. Bills, general fund bills for $565,195.02 and grant fund bills for $2,765.23.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That brings us to public comment. Anyone home or here? I'll take a public comment here first.
Kate Globally Lowell, 18 Pleasant Lane, Clayville. I just wanted to ask, came as a big surprise to a lot of the parents. And I feel like I come very often, about us going down to only one gym class per week for elementary students. I know we had a lot of talks about the budget and what needed to be cut. A lot of the parents that come to the regular meetings didn't know this was happening. And I know there's nothing we can do about it this year, but I just wanted to voice my concern for the kids that need to move and groove and the fact that recess is already limited. I know we were going to the block scheduling. I just am surprised that like with all our budget talks and like what had to be cut, like we didn't know until like our kids told us.
So those decisions weren't made based on budget cuts. That decision was made based on work that the curriculum director did with the principals and work done at the building level at looking at building schedules, instructional minutes, and those conversations. It was not, I don't want you to think it was connected to budget because it was not.
Like block scheduling, and we didn't have enough teachers, and it was a savings thing that
It was not.
Yeah, I mean, I know like the national, I tried to look, my phone died this afternoon, and I tried to look up like rides rules. Like nationally, we're supposed to be getting 2 45-minute PE classes a week in elementary school. I just want to know what our ride policy is, but I'm really bummed that this didn't come as a communication that like the kids are coming home, telling us. And I just, in Clayville, we only had outdoor recess as a thing, like as of like 3 years ago in the morning. Like they weren't allowed to, they had to like sit. So I wouldn't bring my kids early because they had to like sit in the gym. Now they can go outside for morning recess, but recess is such a limited thing to begin with. Like I just.
Say that again. Sorry, I understand. So are you talking about like like before school going outside?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Mrs. Hess's first year, she was the first, when we had Mrs. Francis, we didn't have, or Mrs. Carpenter, we didn't have morning recess. It wasn't a thing. Now it is, which is great. You
calling it recess, but it's
Yeah,
truly
like,
just,
school.
okay, yeah.
8:15
Yeah.
drop off. But I just, a lot of parents, I think, you guys are going to be getting emails. A lot of parents are very surprised that there was no information about the loss of a gym class. And, what is it? I thought it was a budgeting thing that we should have talked about, but
That was not, but I hear what you're saying.
there's so many kids that just need to move, and
Yeah.
then they're getting in trouble, and now it's like we're taking away one of their movement,
I-
physical.
We'll have a conversation about it. Thanks.
Hi, Bianca Mancini, 665 Hope Furnace Road. I think it's coming, but press box update, as we talked last month.
So we have earmarked the funds for the press box. We need to figure out where to put it. And we need to do that in collaboration with Mr. Hassel, the AD, and the boosters, of course. And then once we figure out where it's going to go, then we can move forward with, getting it purchased and placed.
Okay. Side note to that last month about the concession stand, we are having some issues. We need to get it on level ground. So I know no one was willing to make any concessions as to where it's going to be, but we are having issues with the refrigerator that we spent $2,000 on inside because the door keeps sliding open. We are having drainage issues now with the air conditioner that is in there that we paid to put in because it is not level. So I need that to happen sooner rather than later, and I'm happy to work with whoever I need to, but it needs to happen. That box was almost $100,000, as you know, and it's getting. So, if you could put that on your list as well, where it is right now is not suitable. So, thank you.
Hi, Tasha White, 350 Trimtown Road. I have concerns about the concession stand as well. Being a parent of a student who does a few sports here, it is not something I'm willing to give up working in the concession stand, because where it is, I can't watch my child participate in his sport. It's completely blocked by the bleachers. And so we're having a lot of difficulty even getting parent volunteers who are willing to give up the opportunity to watch their child compete. And so that is a concern of mine, along with NFHS is a wonderful opportunity for children like mine who are hoping to play in college, whereas they video the games, and NFHS will come and they will install all of their equipment for free, but we need somewhere to put that. So the press box would be a place where they come and they do all of it, but they need that press box in order to do that. So right now, my child's only videos are ones that I'm taking of him, which are not great. And so he's missing out on this opportunity to showcase himself to colleges and to be seen in a bigger light. Simply because we don't have the facility to get this free service that's offered to support our students, our student athletes. So there's a couple of different concerns of mine. I really would like to see the concession stand, on average, some concession stands in Rhode Island can earn between $3,000 and $30,000 a year. And we're losing a lot of opportunities right now for people to sign up to do this, because you have to sacrifice watching your child do that sport. And so moving the concession stand would be step one, and then getting this press box that I believe we had already raised money for, the funds, up and going. I mean, my child's a junior. I don't see this happening in his time, but for other children, so that they have this opportunity. So he has to go to other schools where they have this available for him to get these videos online for him, so that he can then show them and create his college videos. So those are just a couple of things I wanted to talk about. And then real quick, there definitely is, well, I have nothing to do with this lady, but she was smart. There's definitely something with riding the minutes. You need those hours, you need that time. I know what they're saying about the education and the academics, but there is in ride, they have it right in. I believe it's actually 90 minutes a week, but I could be wrong.
So I think you had mentioned, she said.
She did.
245, which would equate to the 90, right? Like that's,
Yes. And so I get it with the educational time. And again, my boys were in Clayville and they actually had me to speak. As a teacher, and we're super lucky, and I know high academics. However, that is definitely something that needs to happen. I totally agree.
and this is specific to the elementary schools. Am I correct in saying that? So
Yeah.
I guess my question would be,
Thank you. That's it.
yeah, thank you. My question would be, if this was worked on between the building principals and the curriculum director, how did we, like, I know, was anyone involved with those decisions that are here that,
Yeah.
can you speak to that a minute? Like if you feel comfortable doing so, I don't want anybody on the spot.
So with the block schedule, hi, Scituate principal at Hope. With the block schedule, we moved to 45-minute blocks for all itineraries. So art, music, library, there was a huge inequity across the 3 elementary schools. So we moved to 45-minute blocks for all. So the kids are getting 45 minutes of gym, 45 minutes of health, and then they're also getting 10 minutes of like a weekly like health and wellness, hand washing from the school nurses. So that's how we got our 100 minutes total.
So, and just again, so that's they're each, in each school at elementary school, they're getting 45 minutes a week of physical, like gym activity.
Teacher,
And then they're doing 45 minutes of health.
which we have the Michigan Model Health Curriculum.
Okay.
And then they also are getting 10 minutes with the nurses about like hygiene and illness and sickness and how to keep others safe.
So what you're saying is that we're meeting the ride requirements. But so that's wonderful. And I get it. There's only so many hours in the day, right? And take this, I'm the non-educator, so I'm just trying to look at this from a common sense perspective. But I think what I hear the parents saying, and I can certainly, Lori can attest, I've had 1 or 2 kids myself that could use more time for movement. How do we do that, right? Like,
I think we've been working with the classroom teachers about too, in just like best teaching practices, making sure that they are having movement and body breaks, making sure that the students are up and moving, that activities throughout the classroom, you might be learning about math, but that it also is involving movement, and we're up and moving, and we're all throughout the classrooms. I think, welcome to come visit anytime, but I think it's very few and far between times in which you'll see students just sitting at a desk watching the teachers in front of them. I think we've moved very far past that. We also, depending on student need, we use our paraprofessionals for a great deal of support with movement breaks throughout the building. We have like backpacks that kids do heavy lifting. I hope we actually use the stairs for that. It comes in handy for that reason. So we do really feel as though we are meeting the needs of the students, both set within their schedule and then based on the individual needs that arise too. That's something you want.
The only thing I wanted to add, Lori Booty at Clayville Principal, sorry. The only thing I wanted to add is in our discussions of the block schedule and moving to the, making sure that we covered the 100 minutes of phys ed health, was we made clear, again, this is brand new.
Yeah.
We made it very clear to our physical education teachers who are doing the health that we encourage them to combine the health and fitness in one block, so that it may be like calisthenics, like a health nutrition program, like
So
kind of lending those skills so they have the flexibility within that. We're not mandating that it's sit in your seat health.
So exactly. So that's a
Yes.
great
We're
point. So
trying to think
your
creatively
PE
on
health
how we can
classes are being taught by
phys
the,
ed teachers.
okay, I'm going back to the old,
Yes.
you know what I mean? My old mantra, you had the school. No, but Max, so is it, do you, so what I think I heard you say, and I just want to make sure, is that it could be possible in a 45-minute block to have both health and phys ed like mixed up in
Yes.
between? Am I saying that right? Or,
Yeah, and it's not, so the way we.
yeah, I get,
Like in the schedule, PE and 45 minutes health, but again, there's like that movement.
Flexibility of 20 and 20.
yeah, okay.
Like
One
they're
week is
designing,
this and
yeah.
1 week is that.
And like in gym, in health, they're designing like fitness programs for their peers to try out. Like that's one of the fifth grade projects that they do.
I think, thank you both for, I kind of put you on the spot, but you certainly, you knocked it out of the park that this is a new thing. I think what's most important, and for me anyways, what I heard is that there's equity amongst the schools. I like our kids they're all going to come to the same place and they're all going to need.
That's where the block schedule originated from. Another thing that I think is a huge perk too, with the block schedule, it now allowed our PE teachers to have the full amount of time to teach PE and health amongst all the buildings, whereas we were having to pull from our school nurses before. So there were also times where the school nurse office was
That's
unattended.
exactly what I'm thinking. Because when I think health, it hasn't been that. Yeah. Okay.
Like we just need 10 minutes. So the nurses also have flexibility. They can do a 30-minute assembly a month, health related. They can push out videos to be played during snack for 10 minutes a week. So we were that 10 minutes short. And in September, we already did, the 3 elementary schools did one back to school kind of like positive PBIS assembly, which focused on our core values and respect, responsibility, and things like that. So we're really thinking creatively on how we can, fit 10 pounds potatoes in a 5-pound bag. Like,
I love it.
And it's still evolving, and
That's the word, right?
it's going to be, the block schedule has been great, although I'm sure you'll hear, people say, oh, well, it's a little bit shorter, we're getting less of this, but it's definitely made a lot of improvements. All of our itinerants have a consistent common planning time, and all elementary teachers have across the district have the same common planning time every week.
Yeah.
There are so many benefits.
And you're also putting your nurses back in the nurse's office that are,
back in the
that's,
office.
yeah.
They do still have the 90 minutes, but
Yeah,
it's going to take us a while to figure out, and we're strongly encouraging them to be creative and work with those health and fitness programs to bring the best to our kids.
I'd love to hear feedback like throughout the year, because it certainly sounds like you guys are like, it's new, it's evolving, it's kind of exciting though. Like, yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Finnegan Ridge Road. Can somebody give me the history on the concession stand? I just keep hearing this coming up every meeting, and I don't have the history.
very long story short, when field was built, for the record, Bianca Mancini, 665 Hope Furnace Road. Everyone knows me, president of the Booster Club. Thank you. When the field was built, the Booster Club at the time raised significant funds to build a concession stand. The original placement of that concession stand was, and I don't know if you've been to the field, there are memorial bricks that people purchased, and that was money that was raised for the concession stand. It was supposed to be adjacent to those bricks. Then obviously the field got shut down, everything completely stopped. When we were told that the field was going to be reopened, we then took whatever money that was still saved. And just to be clear, all of that money had been put aside in earmark. Nothing was ever spent. So all of the money that was accumulated plus money that the current Booster Club had, we decided to go a cheaper route because we got quotes of upwards of $1 million to put a typical brick cement concession stand. So we decided to go a different route. We found these retrofitted shipping containers that are big at college campuses throughout the country. It was a heck of a lot cheaper. It was about $100,000. With approval, we purchased it. We had it delivered here. The idea at the time, and what was voted on and approved by the school committee, was that we would pay extra for the concession stand to have it reinforced so that a press box, the same type of thing, would go on top. And we would have a press box and a concession stand for $200,000. The concession stand was installed in between the bleachers and everything was great. And then out of nowhere, it was determined that there was nervousness that it was going to cause a problem with the warranty, even though it's nowhere near the field, it's on the asphalt. So we were asked to move it, which we did not want to do because it takes significant equipment to move. We went back and forth. We finally agreed that it would be okay to move it for the time being, with the intent that we reach out to this company and say, hey, the agreement says that the agreement says that it needs to be used as its intended use as an athletic field. Every athletic field has a concession stand and or a press box. We ask that the company be contacted. Can we do this? If they say no, we have the answer. If they say yes, great, order the press box and we move on. That was never done after months and months of us asking. The concession stand was moved without any notice to us. It was dropped in a random location against the fence. It is not level. Equipment was never moved out of it before it was moved. So frankly, we're annoyed and aggravated that money that the parents have been donating and kicking in for years was spent on this, and it's just thrown to the side. As you heard, parents will not work in it because they can't see the field. We have no press box again. So we're all kind of sick of it. And that's pretty much where we're at. And we're volunteers, and it's a complete waste of our time. It has taken so many resources for something that is so unnecessary when there are so many more pressing things in this district that need help. And the fact that I have to come here every month and beg, borrow, and steal for something that is simple is the crux of the whole story.
Would the committee agree that's what took place? Is this something different that took place?
I know that I have to be really careful of what we say. We've been advised to be careful what we say. I would say that Bianca has done a good job explaining it, but reasons why the concession stand was moved, I'm not at liberty without consulting my attorney on how to comment on that.
I mean, the school committee is attorney. Is your attorney, your first attorney?
No, school committee. Yeah, we were told we can't talk about,
So what I understand.
and I feel really bad. I really do. If I could help you, I would. I really would. I would volunteer for you. You know, well, I'm telling you right now. Well, when I came, right. So I'm new on the board and I was put up to speed by the attorney, and we can't talk about it. And I wish we could, and I wish there's something we can do. I really do. I know as a parent, I really wish I could.
So when this was brought before the committee a year and a half ago and voted on and approved by the committee with this attorney sitting here, at that time, no one thought to say.
I wasn't on the committee a year and a
I
half
didn't
ago.
hear that. If you ran for school committee, you watched school committee meetings.
I
can't
did.
hear.
No,
You
I
went to
did.
these
I
meetings.
did.
So please don't
I
use
did.
that as an excuse.
It's not an
If you
excuse.
were here and saw that, there is no reason why something should have been voted on, approved. We purchased it. We spent the money, and then you even approved a press box on top of it all.
And
Mhm.
now you're going to say we can't talk about why it was moved. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is ridiculous. There is no basis. No basis. We consulted another attorney. We brought the agreement to someone else. We sat down in a meeting. Lori was there. We had conversations, talked through it, came up with a plan, and none of that was honored. We were completely lied to and put to the side. And it's not acceptable. It is absolutely not acceptable. I have been in this town for long enough to know how things work. You hit the wrong nerve. You hit the wrong nerve. I will not stay quiet. These kids
No, I
deserve
don't blame
more.
you.
They had a field that was closed for years.
Yeah.
Everything is constantly a fight. You asked us for help for your money at the school at the town financial meeting. I got droves of people there to vote, and you got your money.
Mm.
We are not asking for a lot. It is disgusting how this town turns their head on school sports. Disgusting. These kids, you may not agree with it. It is the nature of what schools are right now. The kids look to athletics for so many things more than just going to college and playing. They need athletics. We have no school spirit. I shouldn't say we have, no, I don't want to say that,
No, you
but
guys
it is
do.
very difficult to
Yeah.
keep the school spirit when you have schools around us that have Friday night games. You have schools around us that have big events. They have tournaments that bring in money. They have track meets that bring in money. And we are constantly going to other fields and we look stupid. Do you know how stupid we look when people show up here? After I
Yeah.
stood there and had a dedication ceremony for a guidance counselor that passed away, now the thing is just dropped in the middle of the field. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and I want another opinion.
Okay.
My back, Miss Nancy, if I phone you, what's going on? So she said twice
Mm.
that the school committee voted on putting it between the bleachers. Twice she said that. When did the school committee vote on having it moved? I'd like to have the date of that. They did it.
You didn't.
I don't have the information for you right now.
What, was there a vote?
Mm-mm.
I don't have, does anyone else
I
have
don't-
that information?
I don't think it was voted.
To the best of my recollection, I cannot believe this committee ever voted
No.
to move the concession stand.
Yeah, we
Right,
didn't.
So let me get this straight, because I'm getting old. I'm really getting old. And I do have a hard time of following things. So we have the school committee voted, supposed to be between the bleachers. And it's not there. So somebody had to make a decision. So can we put this on the agenda for next month? And let's see if the school committee can do something. We have parents want to bring some money into this town. And
Mhm.
here's the problem. We may have less than $5 million in the general fund in this town. If these parents get very upset, they're going to keep showing up to these financial town meetings. And they're going to be appropriating money for the schools so their kids can have a better education. And that includes sports. And then they won't have to do anything. They won't have to have a booster club. They'll just appropriate the money. And the school committee can do whatever they want with that money. But they'll appropriate it. The town won't be happy. Because they're not happy with what they did at the last financial town meeting. So I really ask this school committee to put it on the next agenda. And let's get this done. Let's make a decision. Let these parents bring in some money to this town. Somebody made a decision. I want to know who made the decision. Or does Miss Bianco have to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office? Because obviously somebody made the decision. Was this made behind closed doors with this body?
No.
Somebody made it. It's not one member. It's the committee that rules. So I'd like to know what happened.
Mr. Finnegan, I'll speak for myself when I assure you that I have never taken a vote behind closed doors. Any vote that I've ever taken as a member of the school committee or a discussion based on a vote for the school committee is in an open session. I speak for myself when I say it.
Any of the other members want to add to that?
Seconding the same thing Colleen said, I have never taken a vote in any type of closed session. It's strictly an open session for voting.
I never have either. And I don't even remember taking a vote on moving the concession stand. Not while I've been on this year. I've not.
I'll consider putting it on the agenda for
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I'd hope we have it on the agenda because I think the parents would appreciate it.
So if I could just, a couple points of clarification. Did you have more questions about that, Mr. Finnegan? Because I want to kind of include
Mhm.
our last meeting that we were here. We had discussions and I believe something's in Stephanie's report regarding the monies that were allocated. So, and we got that coming. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not kind of pivot last month to go from, well, first of all, I'm thinking if this thing isn't level, it needs to be leveled, right? So
Yes.
that has to happen and we need to figure out that you can't use something that's not operational. Were we or were we not looking more towards a sound system than a press box?
No, we need both.
I-
And the thought was, if you're going to nix a press box completely, a sound system is pretty imminent. I mean, that is something that has to happen tomorrow. It's completely unusable. You cannot call games. There's nothing there to call games. The Titans have a better sound system than what we're using. The Titans.
Okay.
We're just a joke. We're a joke. So that is a necessity, and that is not expensive. That's not. You're talking a couple $1,000s. I can pay for that tomorrow.
That was very different than I misunderstood that I would be
That's
completely.
My point, I think, was if that money was earmarked towards something for Cato, if we are not gonna do a press box, that money should still go for something towards Cato.
Absolutely.
But
But a sound system would not be at the same level. Okay, I misunderstood
Yeah,
that.
no, not even close. Two separate things. That is a minor fix, but it's something that needs to be, it's a need. It's a need. And again, I just want to say, we have been very open about willing to put any money that we possibly can into the athletics. The issue that I have here is, I'm not saying that I'm the end all be all, but the way things are going, you're not going to have people taking this over. No one wants to bother. No one wants to deal with it. They don't want to volunteer. You won't have the money raised. And I am saying, yeah, let's put all the money back into athletics. If we're giving you all that money now, 5 years from now, you don't have that money because nobody's going to raise it. So yeah, we're going to put up a scoreboard. We're going to pay for a sound system. We're going to buy a concession stand. We're going to do a press box. Great. I'm happy to raise as much money as I can to do all that. But if you don't start realizing now that these are needs that this school department needs to get done, you're going to have the same problem 5 years from now. And nobody wants to be bothered. I mean, I spend so much time. I don't have to tell you guys, I spend so much of my personal time doing this, and I'm happy to do it. It is time wasted and lack of flexibility and willingness to look outside the box that I have no tolerance for. That is not how I operate. No should not be the immediate answer. There is always another solution. And that's all I'm asking.
Scott Dumont, 199 Nipmuc Road. I just have a general one question. The first one is if you know the athletic fields, Cato Field, and then the upper field. Right now on the upper field, the football team is forced to practice there whenever soccer, either middle school or high school, has games on it. There is black tracks cutting that field in pretty much a third. The football team is now in a smaller area that is now even smaller because of these black tracks. Do we know when the black tracks are going to be moved so the football team can use that entire field?
I don't have a date, Mr. Dumont, but I will try to get one for you. And he did not know.
No.
So it is the tracks for the equipment to get out to dig the well. Yes.
Not for a month. Things are still there. I'm not gonna lie. I've tried moving them myself. They're heavy as hell.
Okay.
So I can't move them.
Let me see what I can find out for you. Okay.
The other question I have for you is with moving of the press. That was already there. So if this company already wants to say, hey, that press box was there.
It wasn't there. It wasn't there.
No, I'm sorry. That's the concession stand. I saw. Concession stand. We moved the concession stand in fear. It was already there. If this lawyer for this other company wants to say, hey, we're not avoiding the warranty, us moving it hindsight does nothing. Let's put it back. Put it back.
136 Gentry Way, to the press box. So I have a daughter who plays soccer, and not that I have any problem with the soccer players or any of the sports people helping with anything that they can, the kids. But it has become their responsibility before the game to set up the equipment with the cords and the microphone so they can announce the game. That is very embarrassing when you are a varsity soccer team and you are the girls running around plugging everything in and making sure everything's all ready to go so that your name can be announced. We really need a press box or a sound system or something so that we aren't like the laughing stock of Rhode Island. We really need to work on that. And I know you had said there's going to be a meeting or something. Do you have any time frame at all as to when that's going to happen? Because I think it was you that said that there was going to be a meeting about the press box, correct? That you had to get together with certain people.
We've had Bianca and I and others have had a number of meetings. I communicated with Bianca the other day via email and said that I would be happy to meet again. I can schedule that anytime in the next couple of weeks. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, so will that meeting bring us any closer to getting the press box? I guess those are, it's more like, when are we getting this? That's more the question.
It's really about answering the question about location.
It's a
That's the
location question. Okay,
that's the
that's
question that has to be answered.
Okay, and where do we have to go to answer that question? The location question. Does anyone know? Is that the question? Did I just hit the question?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I usually do. You guys
You
missed
did
me.
good.
It's been years. And here I am. I'll tell you what the question is. So we need to know where everything is gonna go, and then all of the money will go ahead and buy everything that we need. Correct? Am I right? Sort of?
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, and this is yes,
Yes.
So, but
Okay.
it needs to be, and again, we've just gone in circles. We've gone in circles for the last, and it needs to end. It needs to end some.
Yeah.
So how can we stop the circle?
We need to find, I'm speaking for me right now when I say this, we need to find a mutually acceptable place to place the concession stand. And prior to doing anything, we need to make sure that it's mutually acceptable and ordinance bound and structurally. I think a part of the ball was dropped on this when the thing was sinking, right? Like, and I'm not putting, that's not on the boosters. That's
The reason that what happened was, as you know, or maybe you don't know, asphalt, when it heats up, gets soft. So that concession stand needs to be on 4 cement footings, which we had plans for. The idea was, let's not do that until the press box gets on top, because now we know the full weight of what it's gonna be. So if it was just a concession stand going there, those cement footings would have been put in place, the concession stand put on top, and you would not have seen any of those indentations. Because that's the purpose of those cement footings, is to balance out the weight. We didn't do that at the request of waiting for the press box, because when the press box was on top, obviously the weight changes and the differential changes. So that's why you saw sinking in the asphalt, because the asphalt heats up. I mean, go into your driveway.
Yeah, no, I get it.
If the asphalt heats up, you'll see tire marks in your driveway. So that's what that was. It wasn't sinking. I don't want anybody to use that term, because that's not what.
no, don't you think? Yeah, I
No,
get you.
it was not anything to do with that. So, I mean, if you look underneath the bleachers, it's a perfect example. There are cement footings under the bleachers.
Yes.
For that reason. The bleachers weigh probably pretty close to what the concession stand weighs. So there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be able to stay there. I mean, you have 2 sets of massive bleachers filled with parents at games. Add up all the weight.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Right? It's logic.
Does make sense.
So Lori, is this something that we can have a separate meeting on so that, and at another time so that we can?
Yeah, okay.
So we'll get another meeting about the concession stand going on so that we can move on with business. So if anyone has something different to talk about other than the concession stand or the press box, that'd be great.
Yeah, this is definitely about a concession stand. So Megan Dumont, 199 Nipmuc Road. Bianca has had us on emails for about a year. So when we first agreed to move it, the discussion was that the lawyer was going to reach out and find out if we were allowed to keep it there or not. Then it was reneged on, I believe, more recently in the last couple of months, and was said that that was never gonna happen, even though we have email proof that you guys have sat on this for that long. And I'm not just saying you, but the town lawyer is sitting behind me as well. So enough is enough. You guys need to actually move on this. This is insane. We drove out so many hours to these kids that are coming to the school. They're not coming for curriculum. It's not happening. They're coming for sports. And if you don't know that, look at the amount of wrestlers that came in. It's not because of the school, I assure you. So let's do something. Actually make a date to set this, because this is ridiculous. Waiting is not happening.
Is there any other topic other than the concession stand or so that we can move on with business?
We have, the boys football team was in the state championship last year. Boys soccer team, 3 years in a row, 2 state championships, 1 division. We can hardly hold anything here because they cannot announce anything. We all came out to that first football game that we all had to leave because of lights, which that's a whole nother story because that's really expensive or whatever. They were gonna bring in the lights, still no lights either. So we can't hold Friday night lights for the football team. We can't have extra practices after that time for the football team to even practice after the boys soccer games because we don't have lights. So the concession stand and lights and everything, can we move the concession stand now since you don't know how it got moved where it was? Can we move it
That's, we're gonna have a meeting.
We'll have a meeting on this to revisit and
Okay.
come around. Are there any other public comments other than concession and
Okay. So when we pick up our kids at the end of the day and we leave and we go out that driveway that I know is one way, why can't we open
You talking
it
about the high school?
at the high school?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, no, you're good.
Why can't we open it and go right and left? Why do we filter through? Why do we filter through and everyone has to wait, either go left or right? It's wide enough that we can go right or left. I'm not saying open it up so it's a 2-way. Does anyone know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
So when you're going down the hill.
When you go down the hill.
Oh, I see.
Because they
Right,
put these
right.
weird cones, which the kids move for us sometimes. I love those kids, they're my favorite kids. But when they don't move it, we all have to wait. And if someone has to go right, and they have to wait for the next person to go left, and then the next people going left takes longer than the people going right. Why can't we take those cones away and have us go both left and right? Any ideas why we are doing this? Can we change it?
Principals, chief?
Right?
Someone will get back to you on that.
What Sergeant Parenti said is that the cones are there in the morning to prevent people from coming in. We just need a staff member to move those cones. We'll move them tomorrow. Right?
But hang on, chief, just if we can just jump on this before we start doing, so we know it's a do not enter if you
Right.
move the cones. I'm just from.
But I want to
understand
make
that.
sure from the chief that it's safe to have 2 lanes of traffic going down that hill and going out onto that road before we tell Magic Mike to remove all those cones and go at it. As long as we get clearance that that is safe, I'm fine.
Do you understand what we're saying, Eric? Like,
I understand, not to have a popular answer here, but
No.
I don't think it's safe.
Okay.
Opening up 2 lanes. Because you have the 2 lanes coming down, people going left are blocking the
Yep.
visuals for the person going right, so it's actually gonna take longer to get out.
Cause if
My
you,
opinion.
if you're trying to, cause
Yeah.
you're not,
Left, we're in the left lane, I'm going right, I'm in the right lane. I can't see anything, you're not
Don't intersections where this happens.
arguing, I'm just giving my opinion.
I did. And I did. We're members of the school committee. So if we have an elected, the public safety director here with us, we're gonna ask if we think it's safe or not, Dina. So.
Is, you're coming out of that, I'll say the lower parking lot. So are people coming into the lower parking lot to hitting from people who are coming from middle school exit, if I'm verbalizing it right? So you get people coming out of here and there, and I agree with you, because
We haven't had any accidents there. I'm not looking to create accidents. I think it's a safer
it's always been.
1 lane out. If it takes a couple extra minutes, it's a couple extra minutes of the day. Thank you. And we had, and the other piece is we have younger drivers that are going to be exiting also. And younger drivers are not experienced enough. to-
Absolutely. It's more the concerns of the kids coming out of the student parking lot. Yes.
The last thing we need is a student going out there and getting T-boned.
Before I go to the people on Zoom, are there any other comments here in the room? Then I'll go to I see Bobby Coletta.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Bobby Coletta, 9 Brett Drive. A few items. So one, I just want to say that at the Titans game on Sunday, there was a lost child and we were able to locate that.
Hold on,
Hold on,
Bobby.
Bobby. Hang on. You sound like a gremlin, and we know that's not what you sound like. I promise. It's the acoustics. We're working on it. Please hang on. Should we have a try again?
Can you
Bobby,
hear
you
me?
want to try again?
Can you hear me now?
It's still not appropriate. Hang on. Having a couple technical difficulty.
Try again, Bobby, please.
All right, can you hear me?
We can try.
Yeah, just go slowly, Bobby, because it's not coming through clearly. Hope he's trying to fix it. Maybe if you want to start talking and then we can.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to know if you're hearing me or not, but last Sunday at a Titans game, there was a lost child and we were able to locate that lost child's family.
Actually, I can't.
So I think what I just heard you say, he's still working on it. You were at a Titans game on Sunday and there was a lost child and you were able to locate the child. I'm guessing it's, yeah, okay.
Yes, because of the speaker system that we bring
The
out.
speaker system.
Yep.
Yep.
So just wanted to kind of make note of that.
Yeah.
Second, I wanted to thank Lori for, she's been in communication with us, heading into the new school year. So thank you, Lori, for that. I want to ask the school committee member.
Hang on, Bobby. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, just because you just said thank you to Lori for staying in communication throughout the beginning of the school year. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
With these bigger Hope classrooms. So thank you, Lori, for that. I want to ask the committee for each committee member, when or how long have you visited the schools in this last month? I want to ensure that all the school committee members know exactly where the concession stand sits currently. If they haven't been to the school, I would just kind of like to hear each of your feedback on how what school you visited over this last 6 months, and if you do know, in fact, where you have seen with your own eyes the concession stand.
Bobby, I think I understood you, but I don't want to mistake your questions. You wanted to ask each of the committee members when they were last in any of the schools.
Observing, right. Observing some of these larger classrooms, observing the new curriculum. When have they observed what they are fighting for, what they are advocating for?
And then the other question was, who has seen the concession stand?
I want to ensure that each person has, and if they have not, they should make that publicly known that they have not seen where it is and where it was.
Okay, so I'll start if you want. I mean, we'll go with each one. So as far as you wanted to ask if we're in the classrooms observing. And no, I'm not. And I've been doing this for 10 years and I've never been in the classrooms observing. And the reason why, and I speak for myself when I say that, we're involved on a policy level. I've never been told I can't be in a school. Obviously, when I started doing this, I had a child in elementary school, a child in middle school, and a child in high school. So I was in the schools a lot, involved in a lot of different organizations and such. So I was there as a parent, but obviously observing. Now that my children are no longer in the schools, I personally am not in the schools as much as I have been. I have seen the concession stand in its present state, but I want to go back again. I was just sitting here thinking about it again. I personally don't feel I haven't been to any of the open houses or any of the stuff this year. things we'll generally attend. We'll see kind of the bigger goings on. I don't know. And it's a very, it's an interesting question. Like, I don't know that I would feel comfortable personally walking into Mrs. Boudillette's classroom, and I'm using her because she's not in the classroom anymore, and observing what's going on as a school committee member. I'm not her boss. I'm not her. So it's an interesting question. That's my personal take on it. I don't know what anyone else wants to add.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Carolyn. I think where I'm going with this is we have all as parents been advocating for these extra dollars and all these, all these things. And I want to ensure that that there's alignment and that there's a lot of folks that sit on the committee that say, oh, I understand. And if I could help you, I would. And I empathize with what you're saying, but yet there's really no, I want to understand that they truly have an appreciation for where we're coming from as parents and not just we're not trying to rock the boat or trying to be, frustrated parents. We're trying to, we're trying to advocate. And I want to ensure that the committee members take their positions to the fact that they really can appreciate the concern. I mean, I went as an open house for my son's kindergarten classroom. There's 22 kids, and you talk about getting up and moving around the classroom. There is not an ounce of room in that classroom. So, it's one of those things that I think as a committee member, if I were on the committee or others, I feel like you have a duty to understand why our parents are so frustrated, and I would be curious to see it myself. So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Do you still want to hear from each school committee member,
Yes,
Bobby?
I would like
Or,
to. Yes, please.
I can say that I concur also with Colleen Pendergast. It's inappropriate actually for us to go and observe teachers doing what they're doing, but I do attend many events that I am invited to, whether it's the reading week or if they often happen at the end of the year. I've gone to Clayville to see a special presentation that had to do with partnering with a conservation group, and I do the reading weeks in all the elementary schools. I went to the convocation, if you will, at the high school last week, the week before. But I will also say that I am retired and I don't have a daytime job, so I can attend these things. They happen during the day. So it's easier for me to do that. So that I have that advantage that it's not fair for other people around me that are working. Um, so just because I'm attending and they aren't, doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means that I'm available. Um, and I have seen the concession stand and, I do recognize the issue that is happening with that. So that's my answer.
Okay. Do you want me to go next?
Bobby, one thing this is Colleen Rose. One thing I would say as well is all my yearly trainings I have been going to through, for school committee member is that we really should not be in the schools. The schools are run by the principals, by the administrators, and who report to us. And it's suggested that we do not go in because they're doing what they do, and however they need help, they come to us, but they don't. It is not recommended they would be in the school because we, again, like Erica said, we're not your supervisors, or I don't want to feel like I'm watching what them doing and feeling that even though most everybody in here has been my kids' teachers, I don't want to say I don't want to intimidate them, but I'm sure if someone was coming in and watching me, I'm not sure why you're watching me. I mean, I don't have anybody come into work other than my boss to watch what I'm doing. So so again, it's part of the recommendation on our training, not to.
Yeah, and that's fair.
As the concession stand, yes, I have seen it.
You have seen it in its current state.
Okay. And for myself, I know me and Dave. Oh, I am. No, I'm on. Maybe my voice is just soft. That's all right. Me and Dave, when we first got on the committee, we went to all the schools just to introduce ourselves, but we don't go in the classrooms for the same reason. Last fall, a year ago fall, I was at a soccer game and I saw where the concession stand was, and I was embarrassed with the sound too because I couldn't hear anything of the score of the game or what was going on. It was very difficult. So I did go to a game last year and I did see where the concession stand was. So I'm trying to visualize it now where it is, where it was before, but I have seen it.
but you have not seen it currently.
I've seen it last 2 weekends, and I've been to a couple of schools and a couple of tours. That's about it.
Thank you, Bobby. Is there anyone else? Hold on, I see you, Matt. Is there anyone else online?
Oh, 1 second. I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yes, try.
And I just was curious, are we voting on, or is there a vote tonight for the superintendent's contract?
It's on the agenda.
Will there be public comment during that period?
There is always public comment on all agenda items.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And I'm gonna say, so that we can move this meeting along, it's okay.
Mine is gonna be quick.
I'll have you be my last person.
It's Matthew Allen, 159 Furnace Road. I'm not taking anybody's problems lightly or anything, but we have some guests in from England that flew here, and they haven't eaten yet. So if we could give Mrs. D her stuff, I'm not trying to be. Do it. I'm not trying to be rude. I was just informed of this that they just flew in, so jet lagged. I'm not saying anybody else doesn't have any.
Cheerio, pip pip. Yeah.
So that's that will end our public comment section. And almost to the teacher of the year and support staff of the year. I do want to bring up the chief and our SRO to recognize and make sure the community is.
Are you yielding? They're yielding, so yes. Thank
you. Oh, you are?
Thank you, sir.
I will pass the baton over to the superintendent for the recognition of the teacher of the year and support personnel.
Thank you. Thank you. We have already celebrated our Scituate Teacher of the Year and the support staff person of the year. We're going to start with the Teacher of the Year, but I wanted to give the school committee and the community at large an opportunity to recognize these two fabulous educators and ladies who support our kids in ways that I can't even really explain to you. You sort of have to see it.
Can we make them come up here?
We will. Yep, we will.
They seem to be hiding.
She's not hiding. So if the Scituate's Teacher of the Year, Miss Vanessa Mezzancella, could come forward, please. She is a dedicated special educator at Hope Elementary School. And Vanessa's been serving our district for 7 years. Her compassion, her expertise, and unwavering commitment to her students make her an extraordinary teacher and colleague. She embodies the very best of Scituate values and helping every child reach their fullest potential and inspiring all of those around her. So congratulations, Vanessa. And so appropriately, the support staff of the year also comes from Hope. And this is Helen DiCharo, and she has served as a paraprofessional at Hope, where she goes above and beyond. If you want to find her any day, Monday through Friday, just get there right before the buses come, and she is out there greeting every child, taking them out of cars, talking to parents, calming everyone down. She's running the whole show out there at Hope and doing a fabulous job. She goes above and beyond every day to support our kids with her patience, her kindness, and her steady presence. Helen plays an essential role in helping our classrooms thrive. She's a true partner in learning and a valued member of our school community. Both of these ladies represent this district very well, and we are very proud. So thank you. School committee want to. Do either of you ladies do you want to say anything? Do you, if you don't have to, please. Yeah, please. Make her come with you. Make her come. You have to come back. You don't have to talk, but you have to get your picture taken. Oh, perfect, perfect. Aw.
So for those who didn't know me, well, now you do. I'm the special educator at Hope. I work with the upper grades. My right hand right here. To the Scituate community, I stand here completely humbled. I would like to express my deepest gratitude for having been awarded this humbling nomination. To the families that I have the opportunity to team with and helping your child grow, thank you. To the students I have the opportunity to advocate and fight for, to celebrate their wins, and to help you see all of the possibilities that are ahead, thank you. To my colleagues that I truly could not do this without, thank you. My job would not be feasible without the help of this wonderful lady. Day in and day out, she's my partner in crime, helping me and the kiddos. She's the sunshine at Hope, and I couldn't be any more grateful to be standing alongside her in this honor for both of us. This award truly is for the Hope families. It was a nice way to boost the morale of our Hope community after the uncertainty of what was happening with classroom positions at the end of the school year. I continually hear from people who have the opportunity to work in our building that there is no place like Hope. To the Scituate community with this award, I promise to represent our district at the state level. I will take part in leadership meetings and fight for what is best for our students. Any professional learning I gain from this opportunity, I will put right back into our classrooms, sharing information I gain with colleagues. This nomination is a dream come true. I look forward to a wonderful year ahead, growing professionally and representing our teachers and students.
Ladies, before you run away, I just I just want to say thank you. And the best part of this evening so far was just seeing the synergy between the two of you standing right in front of me. I've never seen you together before, and I could just tell. And if we actually have guests that are all the way from England or just from North Providence, we would welcome them to come up with you to take a picture if you guys would like to do so, or if they would like to do so. Everyone together? It's where we sell our fish and chip. Yeah.
It's where you go on holiday.
So moving on to the National Association of School Resource Officer Award.
If I could have the chief and the sergeant please come forward. It is a privilege to be here tonight to recognize two people who mean so much to our schools and our community, Chief Rollinson and Sergeant Parenti. The Scituate Police Department has always been a true partner to the Scituate School Department, and the recent NASRO award is a reflection of that partnership and commitment. The chief and the sergeant, your leadership, your dedication, and your care for our students go far beyond safety. You've helped build trust, relationships, and a sense of security that allows our schools to thrive. On behalf of the entire school department, it is my pleasure to present for our students, our staff, and our community every single day. Thank you very much.
You want to stand with them? Laura? I'm shorter. Maybe go a little bit. Yeah, let's make. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Go in the middle, Lori. Go in the middle. Yeah, that's better.
Thank you.
Just a community, the actual award that was brought back from Nazaro, I'd love to have you explain a little bit about the award.
I'm a clumsy person.
Yeah, don't break it.
I just stop people.
Well, people at home will want to see.
Yeah, just, you can talk to the audience if you want, but just let the
Okay.
microphone on. That's perfect.
All right, so every year the National Association of School Resource Officers picks 2 or 3 agencies throughout the country for the way they operate and perform within the school districts they work in. This year it was Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Billings, Montana, and Scituate, Rhode Island. What I'm proud of is we've gotten a lot of attention for our innovative approach to school policing, where we put our protective factor programming at the forefront of our operations. What that is when you see us doing High Five Fridays or Good Night Lights, those programs create a rapport with the school community and the students. What we found is through this relationship we've built, it's had positive effects on us, minimizing the amount of arrests we're doing in the school, and it has brought more reports into the school with children having issues, which are then referred to the our social service partners, our school resource, our school psychologists, our guidance counselors, our social workers. And the other thing that I'm very proud of is the support that we get from our command staff, because a lot of times I will come up with an idea that has not been done in the state, has not been done here in the district before, and Chief Rollinson always says, yeah, go ahead and do it. And we've had really good results with that, so thank you, sir.
I'm not the eloquent speaker that Richard Sergeant Parenti is, but I concur with everything he's saying. This goes. We're not about the honors, the accolades. It's great to get these awards. This goes hand in hand with soon-to-be accreditation, state accreditation for our department. Rich has done a lot of work with policies, along with the deputy chief. Deputy chief has put a ton of work into policies, operating procedures to get us up to accreditation standards. This is a piece of that puzzle. It's not required for state accreditation, but it also enhances what we're doing and what Rich is doing. Funny piece of this accreditation NASRO award was NASRO contacted me. They wanted a picture of our unit. I sent them a picture of Richard. I got a response back saying, although we love the officer, we like the whole unit. I said, that is the whole unit. So Richard does a tremendous job. I'm sure all the students from elementary through the high school know this kid. Just call him a kid, he's not a kid. You know the sergeant. Sergeant is active in the athletics side of things. He's always attending games and functions, school dances, anything he needs to be a part of, he's always a part of. He comes to me with a lot of ideas. I wish I said yes to all of them, but I don't say yes to all of them. I appreciate that, Richard. There are some out there that we'll hold for another time. But he's always coming up with some ingenious ideas to just keep the rapport going with the students and the staff here. And the working relationship that we have with the school department, school committee is fantastic. I also attend football games, baseball games. Those are my 2 favorite sports. My daughter plays volleyball, so I try to get to the volleyball games. It's a great community. I love this community. He's doing a great job. His predecessor, I went to elementary school with. Great guy. He's retired. He still hangs around, doing details. Kevin Pendergast, he did a great job, and Richard just picked the ball and kept rolling with this. Richard, he's a humble guy. He was NASRO officer, SRO of the year. What year? 2019. So the awards just keep rolling in for our program. Patrick Grange recognized him as the SRO of the Northwest corner. Then he was recognized by the state range for the work he's doing as an SRO throughout statewide. He's president of the Rhode Island School Resource Officers Association. he puts on I'm sorry, it's not a conference. He calls it a summit. It's a training summit for all the SROs across the state and outside our state. Massachusetts, Connecticut also join in, and he's got a great program. He does a tremendous job. He is 100% committed to what he's doing, and he's one piece that I don't have to be concerned with. And if there isn't, concerns happen, or they pop up from time to time. I call Lori, Lori calls me. We have a great working relationship also, and problems are usually resolved pretty quickly. Never rises to to get to the committee, but I also, we have a great working relationship with the committee. Can't say enough about the schools, Hope, North Scituate, Clayville, middle school, high school. Mr. Hassel works really close with Mr. Hassel with a lot of the high school programs he has going. The newest one, not the newest one, but the upcoming one is the homecoming. We got to look forward to that every year. That's, yeah. So we're completely involved with that. We support that, and we do everything we can to for the schools. So thank you. This is
Keith,
much appreciated.
before you run away, I was looking at the award here, and I just want to read this out loud and just say maybe two quick words. Well, it's going to be more than two, but so this award was presented to the Scituate Police Department for your continued support of the School Resource Officer Program and for being recognized as a model agency throughout the United States of America. I've been around probably the longest of anyone on this committee. At one point in time before my time, and even before Kevin was here, it was actually when Steve Bremges first out of the program, it was grant funded. So there were federal monies that came in. Those monies dried up over the years. And we, as even before I came here, as a school district and as a school committee, we felt strongly on maintaining that position after those funds had gone. And we continued to fund the position, a good chunk of that position for a while. At a financial town meeting, I don't know how many years ago, the position was defunded. And if Mr. Finnegan's still here or not, he helped to refund it again by just reallocating it. It was kind of and I guess what I'm saying is, thank you. So the position is now funded through your police department. I was laughing when you were saying about the units, because obviously there's a lot of departments. I'm not saying they're better, just bigger than Scituate, right? So they may have bigger budgets. We all know we've sat through budget sessions. We've sat through, and for you to be able to find that money each and every year to continue to support this position and provide the support. We know that it comes at the expense of other things. I can't speak highly enough as, you know, a parent, first and foremost, of my kids. When they had talked before about, I'm like, over my dead body, are they ever getting rid of a school resource officer in school? So thank you. I know, thank you, Richard, for all you do. We've got a lot of awards, but Eric, I know it's not easy. You, there's a lot of budgets stink, right? And you have to make some tough decisions. So as I almost said a former parent, a former having a child here and as a school committee member now, I thank you for making that commitment to our kids. Thank you. And here's it.
And I know he's a unit of one, but he does a lot of work. He does the work of probably about five guys. He's completely involved 100% and gives it his all. That went down. And it was Richard Finnegan that reversed the funding many years ago for the SRO to continue. So thank you again. Thank you, Richard. Great job.
Anyone that is here, help yourself to the Scituate celebration.
That brings us to our human resource presentation.
Before you get started, Andy. So I asked Andy to come and do a presentation to the school committee tonight because we've had many conversations about human resources support. We have funds in the current budget. Every year, those funds stay there. We do not have a person on staff. And I have learned that there are multiple ways to get the work that is required under human resources done. So as I've learned about new ways to get that work done in support districts, I want to make sure that the committee also has that information. So Andy's agency and company provides some of that support, and I want him to be able to at least share that information with the committee. So in the future, we can make some informed decisions.
Thank you, Lori. So I know that to all of you, I don't need an introduction, but for the people at home, people here who have never met me, I'm Andy Brown. I'm from TMS. I currently help run the communications for the district, but in addition to that, I help run TMS. I also have 4 years as a human resources director. I would not be taking that on here. um, for the people who don't know who TMS is, we were founded in 2006 to address school business administration. We've since expanded to include communications, human resources, strategic planning, and a number of other areas that a lot of schools need help with, but don't necessarily have the in-house expertise for. Why does Scituate, or more importantly, small school districts, need HR? It's very easy to look at it and say that we've got a small district, so why do we need more people? And HR is unfortunately one of the first positions that's often cut because you assume that admin assistants can take it on, business administrators take things on, superintendents take things on, and they end up wearing a lot of hats. You also get duplication of services, and which complicates things. For instance, a lot of hats. This is weird not having a clicker. Business administrators end up managing the benefits, and then superintendents end up managing hiring and also investigating accidents. Administrative assistants create file management procedures that may fall outside of rules and laws that they don't know about. So that's where you kind of need an HR professional to come in and look at that and figure out the best way to track all of that information. I know from my personal experience, one of my first jobs as an HR director was reorganizing a file system for a hospital because their nurses, licensures, and all of their education was not up to date, and nobody could find anything, and they were going to be audited, and that was going to be a giant mess. For duplication of services, email requests come in to multiple people. These are just a couple of examples. They come into multiple people. Either everybody responds or nobody responds. And if everybody responds, you end up with situations where you get questions that are answered different ways. And maybe they're saying the same thing, but it gets muddled and it gets confused. Or they end up saying different things because different people have different information. Human resources gets more complicated every year. There are new laws, there are new regulations. OSHA changes something and only one person knows about it and they can't apply it to everything. There's certifications change, contracts change, salary ranges change, benefits change. And then because everybody's wearing hats, there's a lot of prioritization, but there's no specialization. Those emails that come in very quickly, hey, how do I change my tax forms? You answer that right away because that's low hanging fruit. But you know how to do that because you've done it, not because it's your area of expertise. So you end up with people who know a little bit about a lot of everything, and then there's no specialist who can answer all of the questions. And that's where we can help, or an agency like us. We can step in because people are the heart of the schools. If you by broadly addressing the needs, they'll allow you to focus on the individuals. I'm talking about creating policy manuals that people can read and understand. I'm talking about procedures that people can follow to get things done. And then you can focus on the individual needs as they come in the door, because you've almost, well, it may not be automation, they're automatic steps to follow. And if you address the basics first, all the other stuff, all that critical stuff, much easier to take care of. We provide, and there are other agencies like us that do this, we provide human resources administration. We do it in a hybrid model, so 1 to 2 days on site per week, and then everything else is remote.
Similar to what we do with communications right now. We come out when there's something going on, but very often a lot of the writing and interviews take place over the phone or even Zoom.
Andy, can I ask a question?
Sure.
If it, is it a particular person that comes on site?
Yeah.
One or two?
It would be a dedicated person.
Okay.
If we were to work with you, I know the two people. One is a former superintendent who was also an HR director. Yep, and the other one is currently supplying HR services to a virtual school and a collaborative in Massachusetts. And he would be there. We always, on the business side and the HR side, we operate in a primary and secondary role. So she would function as the primary, and the person who comes on site, he would operate in the background, advising, getting things together. They divvy up the workflow, so stuff that can take place off site. He'll take care of a lot of that, and then she takes care of it on site. So effectively, you get full-time services, but with on-site being part-time. The other nice thing about that last slide is we are workplace agnostic. We are here to follow the laws. We're following to the policies and procedures you've laid out at the school committee level, and to follow what best practices are. That means if somebody comes through the door and starts screaming and yelling at whoever we have on site, it's like, no, these are the rules. And they can get mad at us, and we've got thick skin. We don't mind, and they can always go over our heads, but we're always going to go back and cite those rules. And we're going to say, nope, this is how it's been laid out. This is how we're supposed to do this. And we will help develop those procedural manuals that support those policies. So this is just an example of some of the things we can provide. Lori and I have gone back and forth about some of the things that are currently needed. Gets down into the nitty-gritty level in some of the benefit areas, but overall, we developed those procedures around compensation packages, benefit programs, using what's already in place, and in some ways acting as a project manager. We organize things. We organize things so people can do their jobs better. We'll take over the hiring process of, okay, we got to post people, schedule the interviews. We can do some of the initial interviews, but ultimately it's up to the superintendent and the people who are in charge of those people to make those final decisions. And that's the other side of how we do things on that business side. We will offer facts, and we will offer, this is how it's supposed to be. And if we're asked for, we will offer opinions, but we won't tell you what to do. We will simply offer, these are best practices. But how you want to do it, Situate's a unique place. Every district is unique, so you guys know better. You guys know best about the people in the district, and I've come to know a lot of them pretty well. But you know what their needs are. You know the personalities. You know what's going on at the high school versus the elementary school and what those needs are. So better for you to make that final decision, but you get to make informed decisions because we're giving you that information. But we'll update handbooks, reporting, exit interviews. We'll do all of that. Any questions? I'm trying to keep it short and quick because
What's the average district you're in? What that would provide service? I don't need a name, just like kind of like a size wise, what type of?
Greenfield Commonwealth Virtual School currently has 1,500 students total, K through 12. Case Collaborative, similar numbers in Western Massachusetts. On the business administration side, it varies between the smallest one we have is a K to 6 district, which is, I didn't even know they still existed, all the way up to Greenfield Public Schools in Western Mass, which is 5 elementary schools, middle school, and high school, and probably 4,000 or 5,000 kids. So we run the gamut.
Time or not, but like the money, like, right? Like, how does this work? Who gets paid what? Who gets, like?
Typically, we operate on a retainer model because that way, if anything comes up, it's taken care of. It's similar to working for a lawyer. For a district this size, it's roughly $5,700 per month. We base that off of, we go in and we look at the salaries for the state, and we look at similarly sized districts and what they're paying their human resources director. We're not going to go. First district, they came up, looked at Providence and were like, nope.
I think it's something that we really need to contemplate and put some thought into. We've spoken for a long time about, and every point that you hit on there is accurate, you know, and yes, for the longest time, everyone's doing little pieces of this. Mrs. Boudiette is an expert in education. You know, like they're not, it's not their job to know every piece of HR law of every, and as much as Stephanie has, I mean, we just have so many people doing, I don't think we need any help with clerical tasks, so to say, right? But it's the meat and the bones of what,
You don't need help with payroll.
right?
Or making sure that the retirement system is up to date.
Yeah.
You have people doing that.
Yep.
You need people to make sure to say, okay, this is the right way to do it.
Yep.
And all of the slightly bigger picture stuff, but not the really big picture stuff. You need middle management.
Yeah.
I hate using that term. but
No,
Middle
but-
managers serve.
but I think we also, what we really need, I love the piece where we're not just looking for someone virtually. We're not just looking, we can't afford to have someone sitting in a seat 5 days a week either, right? Like it's just not, but you know, exit interviews and HR. Lori and I have had this conversation. She sits in a very, very difficult position in that who is there to go to? I know a lot of times she'll pull in Stephanie sometimes as a second as doing, but to have a true HR director that is, can be that if I'm a disgruntled employee, I know who I can reach out to have that conversation. Maybe I'm a kook, but maybe I also have a valid point, right? Like, so I,
You,
yeah,
you deserve to have a relatively neutral party.
yeah,
I mean, neutral in, well, as far as the regulations and policies go. Like that's the governing body for what that HR person does in every district.
right.
Or should be. And having that neutral party, I know when I worked at the hospital, that was kind of my role. I was the person who had to listen
Mhm.
because I was the new guy.
Mhm. No,
And I would bring those to the HR director. I was the assistant director there. And then she could go to the appropriate parties, the supervisors, and kind of circle everybody back and bring the right information.
so in this model here, who would this person report to? Directly to Lori? How does that work?
They would report directly to Laura
Okay.
and me, but that's the story.
So tonight was, on the agenda is just a presentation. I want to give school committee, you know, the next month to process this information. And I would ask that we put, a discussion action vote item on the next month's agenda so that you can provide me with some direction on how to move forward. Either putting together an RFP or, how would you like to move forward with this particular need in the district and provide me with some direction?
I don't know if it's appropriate to ask this, but I'm going to try and you can say none of your business, lady. Are there a lot of other companies out there like you specializing in schools?
Not necessarily in schools.
Okay, that's, yeah.
There are a lot out there that do straight up HR services.
Yep.
A lot of them won't provide somebody on site.
Yep.
They'll do remote management at this point, which honestly, they wouldn't do it if it didn't work.
Right.
But there aren't actually many companies like ours in general that specialize in education. To be quite frank, it's because there's no money there.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, it's, yeah.
And it's a discussion we have all the time that we have found by luck a niche that
Yeah.
nobody else wants to touch. But any of these other, if you went out to RFP, we could point to different agencies that you should put the RFP out to see if they'll respond. We won't cherry pick ones that we.
Yeah, no, yeah. And I guess last question for me anyway is, are there varying levels of your service? You know, say you said $5,700 a month, that includes this. Is there a $5,000 a month that includes this? And I'm just,
Yeah, we never say no.
yep.
So we will adjust the services based, if you came back and said,
using round numbers.
Yeah.
You said, okay, we can't do 5,700, but we could do 4,000.
Yeah.
We would say, okay, then what we need to do
Yeah,
is take
no.
out these things, or do something. We might say, we'll take out these 5 things that take up a decent amount of time. Plus, we'll only come one day.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a fair, I think I'm just thinking out loud. I know we obviously budgetary, we need something and we've put some money aside. And this is a straight up fee for service type of thing. Like there's no bennies, there's no this, there's no anything like that. So it's no, that's good information.
And that's, we tell a lot of people about the business administration side, that we come in after you figure in all the whole compensation package.
Yeah.
Between 60 and 80% of the total.
Mhm.
And that's just where we fall, and that's
Districts where you're currently doing HR, how long have you been there for?
GCBS. We've been there in lots of capacities since 2015.
Okay.
Actually, maybe longer, because I started working with them on the communication side in 2015, and Mark Richard, who's their business manager and HR director from TMS, was already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Good. No.
And Case Collaborative, we've been in and out of there because they like us and they keep bringing us back, but then new governance comes in.
Yeah.
And somebody will say, no, I really want something here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they can't
Yeah.
find anybody.
You're like, okay, we'll be back.
And say, well, let's do this on an interim basis.
What type of contract are we looking at? If
Well, all of our contracts are the full school year,
Yep.
but there's a 30-day out clause.
Okay.
That either of us can exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not working out for some reason, or you realize we really need something, we figured out a way to grant fund the position, and we want somebody here full time. Give us 30 days. It gives us. I always recommend once you have that person in place and they start, that's when that 30 days should start. So there's a transition period.
Oh yeah.
And you pay a little bit more for that month, but you ensure something nice and stable.
Yeah.
We're transitioning out of a couple places on the business administration side right now that they exercise their 30-day out clause because they found somebody full time. So we're flexible.
Good. No, I like it. I appreciate. I had no idea you guys like. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Right. You were right under our nose this whole time.
Well, it's like it's the cobbler. His kids don't have shoes.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah.
We market other people.
You're doing a good job marketing our district. Maybe chop, get out there. No, this is good.
Mr. Brown, I have a question for you. I know you have the slides. I don't see them in our packet, Lori. I'm not sure if you have them or if we have access. I think it would be nice to have a reference as we're looking at them to say what were important for us. I mean, if we're looking at saying, these are the things that we definitely need, these are the things we may not, to give us options. So if you could get the slides to Lori or Patty and we can get them out, it'd be great.
I'll send them as soon as I get home today.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Andy.
Next is the superintendent's report.
Okay. I want to give the school committee and the community an update on our opening of schools. I must say, this is my 5th year and this was the smoothest opening. I feel like I can almost safely say that now because we're, starting week 3. So, but it's been a very good opening. The students and staff have transitioned back with great energy, and our leadership teams are working diligently to ensure a strong beginning of the school year. Transportation services are running effectively this year. The routes always take a little bit longer at the beginning of the year, but there has been some improved communication between the district, the bus company, and the families. And we continue to monitor those routes and timing closely at the start of the year, so things will begin to smooth out. The school lunch program is fully operational in all schools, and the participation rates are good. We continue to receive federal funding to support those meals programs. I know that we've had some conversation about the potential for that federal funding to be decreased and or eliminated, but I'm pleased to report that all students who qualify for reduced price meals are receiving free meals now under the federal lunch program. And this ensures equitable access to healthy meals for all of our kids. I know that I have updated school committee, and I think most parents have seen that the Rhode Island Department of Ed has an increased emphasis on student attendance as a critical component of academic success, and schools are now required to identify and address chronic absenteeism with greater urgency. And beginning this year, attendance matters will include the potential retention of students who are both chronically absent and not meeting proficiency benchmarks in reading or math on state assessments. That is coming directly from the commissioner.
It's
Be-
excessive absenteeism.
Chronic absenteeism and not meeting proficiency benchmarks on state assessments in reading or math, not both, one or the other. So if they do not meet standard on the state assessment in either reading or math, and they are chronically absent by RIDE's definition, that child potentially could be retained.
So regardless if they have a 4.0 GPA.
Correct.
Based on, okay. And again, that's not Lori Andre's policy.
That
That's
is
coming
the
directly-
Commissioner of
Yeah,
Education's.
okay.
So when we are working with parents and advocating for kids to get into school if they are having attendance issues, it's because we are trying to avoid some of these consequences that may not be appropriate for kids or families. So this raises the stakes for both students and families, and will continue to communicate the importance of daily attendance. Principals and school teams at all levels are implementing proactive strategies to support consistent student engagement and learning. So we're going to do everything we can on our end to support kids and families, and if kids need to be absent, to try to provide additional support and services to catch them up so that they do well on state assessments. You know about the Away for the Day initiative that is rolled out at the secondary level. Students have been very compliant with the expectations, and as a result, it is being reported by administration at the secondary level that time out of the classroom has decreased compared to last year. And I think you can see it when you walk through this building. The hallways are very quiet. Like there's nobody really out there. They're all in their classrooms and engaged. And students are more engaged and present in their learning. This shift has made a positive impact on both classroom culture and instructional time, and will continue to monitor its effectiveness as the year progresses. The PACT committee, the Parent Advisory Council, will be meeting for the first time this year on Thursday, September 25th at 5:30 in this room. And this council serves as an important opportunity for parents and educators and administrators to come together to support student learning and district initiatives, and keep those lines of communication open with our parents and community members. So I look forward to meeting with that group again this year. I'm pleased to report that the wrestling team will be receiving new mats. We ordered new mats for those teams, and they were purchased with funds from last year's closed out budget. In addition, the boosters are working with Mike to purchase a new scoreboard for the gym, which will be a significant improvement for both our athletic programs and community events. We've talked a lot about the press box, so I'll skip my comments about that. I'm also proud to share that all district buildings now have new fire alarms. I know they're not flashy and exciting, but every school now has a brand new fire alarm system. So that strengthens our commitment to safety and the well-being of our students. Having said that, we will also be discussing our safety plans with our administrators and various drills. There is new requirements that we notify parents in writing of all the drill types we do, what the definition of each drill type is, and all of that information will be sent out very soon to all parents in the district.
Is that a ride the ride?
That is,
directive?
it is legislation.
Okay.
So that is new, so we'll be doing that. The superintendent's office continues to work with the town to facilitate the move to town hall. Right now, we are waiting for Cox to install the wiring for internet and telephone service. They have indicated that that should happen around September 22nd. And if all that timeline holds, we anticipate beginning the move sometime at the beginning of October. As we move forward, our focus remain on ensuring smooth daily operations in schools, supporting our student achievement, and maintaining clear communication with families and the communities. And I want to thank our staff for all their continued dedication to our families and the partnerships we have with the community. We're off to a great year, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Matthew Allen, 159 Hope Furnace Road. I actually have a question about the absentee and not passing the testing. Does that include kids with IEPs and 504s?
There is no delineation for students with disabilities, Matt.
All right.
We will, however, be making those decisions on an individual basis. I can assure you that.
Next is the Director of Finance report.
It's my favorite time of year. We're in multiple budgets at the same time and an audit. So if you look at the B2A, you'll see it's got both years on it, a soft closeout for 24-25 and a projection for where we're at right now and where I think we'll be. The FY 24-25 accounts payable remaining is not included in this soft close projection. For example, there's two bills that I know are coming in that we haven't received yet. One's for the Groton Center and workers' comp premium. So when those come in, you will see those numbers change. I do feel with the accounts payable and accounts receivable that I know is still coming in will be relative, and we should land at a non-material deficit of approximately $763. I want to see how close I am this year.
So, oh, sorry, I was a little close, I guess. So I just want to acknowledge that ending the year with a deficit of $700 when we look at the communities around us and what kind of financial shape people are in. I want to thank Stephanie for her dedication and continued work with me and the administrators in this district. I know that sometimes I am not the most popular person around here when I have to say no, but that's how we were able to land where we landed. So great job, Steph. Great job, administrators. Thank you. I know it's hard to hear no sometimes, but when we have to hold the line, we've done that, and we are in good financial standing when many, many communities around us are struggling right now. So thank you.
Great job to the finance team. If they're listening, sometimes they watch me. The FY 24-25 audit has begun. Thus far, the auditor has requested our single audit grant matrix, which was completed, our check register audit, which was completed, and our new payroll systems controls and general process. He's been monitoring it, and that is halfway completed. We await our next request from the auditors, but as of right now, we've given them everything they've asked for. Moving on to 25-26. I'm going to be watching the health line closely. We budgeted 7%, and our percent increase from WB was estimated at 7 to 10%. Should we land at the 10%, 3% over our budgeted amount, we'll be over in this line about $57,746. If that should be the case, that means we're going to have to look somewhere else in another line and make sure that we don't go over. So I'll be watching that closely. Longevity and bus assistant monitors, I'm showing you, and you can kind of see from 24, 25 to 25, 26, the amount that we expend, but I just want to acknowledge that that amount actually goes back into the salary line. That's where we budget for it, but in UCOL purposes, we have to show it. And I just want you guys to see what we're expending now that we're actually showing it there, because it's good to know. Also, the Northwest line, that's another area I wanted to point out. This is just a good time to do it because you can see both at the same time. I always show what's budgeted there and what we expend just because that line actually doesn't have a UCOA. So it goes into all the object codes that we have. But without me showing it to you, and we always have to budget for it, it just would seem like where's the money going? So I just want you to see that we've stayed within budget or we haven't, whatever the case is, and where we're at. To watch that really exciting stuff throughout the year. At this time, there are no other points of note or material change in our FY26 budget. We are at 11.93% usage. Taking a look at our detailed summary graph, we have started to trend down by month expenditure-wise compared to last year. However, looking back into July, our expenditures were trending upwards of last year, making our current expenditure year-to-date relative to last year's at this time. The NRIC money. As requested by the committee, the NRIC money, one-time funds are put in a special fund aligned in UCOA that will either roll into the fund balance at the end of the year for that one-time use of the press box, or can be shifted into capital for that one-time specific use. Yes. We had originally thought we would be receiving around 63,000, but we ended up receiving $89,310.65.
Yeah, it went up. Yeah, it went up. Well, we just got another little bump.
$700. I was really excited. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Just for clarification, that money is in a set aside account right now. That was from last fiscal year.
So it'll either roll into the fund balance and we'll have to do a one-time pull, or we can shift it into capital at the end of the year.
But it's still, regardless of where it is, that money is still set aside for up to.
It's not in the general fund. It's a completely different fund.
Okay.
Yes.
You found my question?
Yep.
Yeah.
No one can touch it.
No other questions for Stephanie? Then we move on to new business. And next up is the high school fire alarm upgrade.
Kyle Robinson with Scituate and Associates Architects. So I'll run over it real quick. As Lori mentioned, the fire alarm is active and new. The old fire alarm has been removed. There are some minor, if you're around the school still, they're still working. There are some minor things out in the maintenance building and just a few things in this building they've been wrapping up. The goal is to be done by the end of the month, 100% finished, everyone out of here. So with that, over the last 2 years, as this project's been going on, we've been collecting changes in the plans that have come about. So when we add all those together, we'll start, the number is $256,402. Now those changes include some things that came up during the fire marshal's review and changes based on being on site from his original review of the plans. When you get out into certain areas, things change, things move. Sometimes that adds some money. Things that my team missed that we shouldn't have missed. There was the last one on the list is, it's a little alcove with 3 doors into a classroom. It's really separate from the corridor. It was shown as part of the corridor. That was something that, we should have seen in our walkthroughs. But the majority of this is things that we didn't know about. There are things above ceilings. There was a lot of instances where when they went above the ceiling, where we assumed it was open, the whole corridor was one big open ceiling. There are walls up there that divide it, which adds devices because each section is different. The big thing is really a lack of records on the building. So the building has sprinkler systems throughout in certain areas where there were no records of. We knew they were there, but nobody had any idea. So in the sprinkler system, there's it's called a flow switch. Essentially, the sprinkler head triggers a device to allow water to flow. Those have to be monitored by the fire alarm. Nobody had any idea where they are or how many there were. So to accomplish that, the easiest way to accomplish that is to have the contractor find them, because they have to get above every single ceiling. You know, for us to find them, we would have had to have gone through every room, every ceiling, and chase these down. They have to do it anyways. There's a room in the middle school where you have to remove a ceiling, suspended ceiling, and then you have to open a door that's painted black like the wall, and there's a room above the attic that nobody knew about until the fire marshal mentioned it, that there was a room. He didn't know exactly where it was. So there's some instances where there were just pieces of the building that there was a lack of historical knowledge or documents. So the project started shortly after got involved, when Robert Carenti was still the facilities manager. He gave us all the documents he had, said, look, we got another room full of, drawings over here. You can look at any time. And he even identified some areas that he knew we had no documentation of. So there were some areas of the school that we did go in, measure, redraw. And then after Robert left and Jason came on board, we were essentially doing this project with nobody that had any historical knowledge of the building. We were all learning the building at the same time. So there was a gap there where there was nobody that could really say, hey, this doesn't look right. It doesn't match the drawings that we have. And again, some of these, if you go line by line, some of these are things that we should have picked up. I personally walked the school, our engineers walked the school multiple times. There's some things that should have been picked up in that. And there are other things. You open up what should be a storage closet, and all of a sudden it's 2 rooms, and nobody thought to go into that room because it's just a closet on the drawings. There's a lot of things like that, and very similar to what happened at North Scituate. They happened at the same time. It's just this school is significantly larger, so the numbers add up much quicker.
I can see that according to the documents that you sent, we can anticipate more change orders coming.
No, this is fine. So this is the end of it. The only thing that remaining are punch list items. So it's some minor things in here and finishing up the maintenance building, which is all under contract. They've gone through. This is every change, every add, every subtraction. You'll see there are some deletions where things weren't needed that were shown on the drawings. So all that's in here. So this would be the end of this project.
Does the fire marshal do the walkthrough with you at all? Who does the walkthroughs?
So the fire marshal didn't do our initial walkthrough with us. So he requested this along that the fire alarm system was outdated. So he requested the upgrade. So we do the walkthroughs, we walk through, we put the plans together, and then we submit them to him. He reviews them, gives comments, we update them, and then he gives them the okay. We go out to bid, get a permit. So he was not involved in a detailed walkthrough. So at Hope and Clayville, because we knew these issues, the fire marshal over there was a little more involved in those walkthroughs. He has a longer kind of history of those buildings, knowing that everyone else involved had less history of the buildings. But typically they're not involved in the start. They're involved once we give them a set of drawings that say, this is what we think needs to get done. And then they give comments back on that.
I see that also in the document you gave us, along with this come as is drawings, which we didn't have, which is what got us into this mess. But now we will have as is.
Yes. So we do have in this process, we've updated the drawings multiple times. Every time we got a change, we updated the drawings. So now we have plans that show every room accurate, every door. We'll say every exterior door, because we don't need to document every single door, but we're pretty close. We're 95 to 99% accurate, compared to what we got was pieces and both digital and print files of different areas of the buildings from different years that we had to try to combine together into one document. But now you do have both computerized and prints of the school in detail.
of the as-is drawings
Yes,
of.
as is.
Okay. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Yes, it is. It's a much higher percentage than we would have liked to have seen. And again, that's where there are definitely items on here we're not happy we missed that we're in. And there are, again, I would say maybe 40% of it are just things that we never would have identified in our typical walkthroughs. We can walk through, there were things that you had to get up above the ceiling into concealed spaces to really identify some of this information. And so there is a cost difference between having them do it as a change order versus having them do it as a bid. Now in this situation, we only had one bidder, so I can't tell you whether you got a great price or a terrible price to begin with. But even if we had done it and spent the extra time, the majority of this would have still been the cost needed to do it. It's
Went
just
out to bid.
unfortunately done it, it's done at an unfortunate time because it's after the fact when we think we're going to get it done. I will, just as a point of reference on the summary sheet, the number on the far right is what was submitted to us for change orders. So that was a total of $320,000. And after we go through every change order, we review it, we come back and say, we agree with this, we don't agree with that. So those were the original submitted numbers. And through our review, we got it down to 256.
Did I read correctly that there were many devices that were purchased, but we ended up not being able to use them? They couldn't return them, but they gave us a credit, excuse me, in labor costs or?
Yeah, so there were some devices, we ended up actually, in the end, so there were, depending on how you go through this, because of the 2-year, there were devices that were purchased last year. We'll just say the one in this room, say we didn't need that for whatever was changing. If it was purchased last year, they can't take it back. So they give us a credit on the labor, but not on the device. We actually used all the devices that we had here. They had to purchase more, and they used some extra devices from North Scituate that they had. So
that wasn't a waste.
Yeah, we're not wasting devices. There isn't a room full of devices that you bought that you don't have any use for. There may be a handful here or there that were left over in the final count, but those always can be used if a device fails. They're not wasted. But there's not a pile of devices out in the maintenance building that can't be used or will never be used.
Any other questions? So, John, do you have a copy of the agenda? Do we also need to vote on item number 1? Simply the log, so we do not vote on that, correct? Items 2 through 9. Make a motion to approve the change orders for change order number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 for the Scituate fire alarm. I see change order 10 listed. I'm sorry, I'm reading the change order numbers, not the item number. Yeah, that's okay.
Is that a motion?
It is.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That brings us to funding source of capital projects.
It was asked of us by the town council and Dave Ferrara to kind of really hone in on where we're going to be expending items on the capital budget. I know you guys have seen the capital budget that we gave to the FTM, but as you know, projects change based on need or the funding source. You know, if we can't get materials, if people can't come in during the school year because it will be disruptive to kids. So this is our current plan. The town is really only concerned with the bonded money and what we're expending there. They want to make sure that we are expending a certain amount by a certain time. And then we have our own rules and regulations that we have to meet, right, Kyle, for a ride. So trying to do all of that and ensure that we are bundling properly to get reimbursement. This is where we're at. And what we would be bringing forward, or I'll be bringing forward on Thursday to town council, is the bonded areas for this year before the summer. And those would be the Hope Boiler replacement, the North Situate Common Area, also known as the Common Area Aesthetic Upgrades, flooring, paint, lighting, and replacing the PA system. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, that's housing aid and local appropriation. They don't care about that. And the Clayville fire alarm. Now, these items were already on, some of them, the CIP, so I believe they just want to know the bonding sources. We are also going to go forward with the middle school learning commons as the backup. Now, that will bring us a little bit over the bond. So that's kind of our backup, as if, you know, maybe something will come in less, maybe something will come in more. And then we'd have to kind of move from there. But they did want to know what our next plan would be. And that was our next plan. So with your permission, I'll be going on Thursday to share these exciting items with them.
Any questions for Stephanie about the capital project funding source? Did you find it helpful? Oh, we need a motion to accept this for you to move forward? Do I have a motion to accept the funding source of capital projects?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Oh, never mind. Hold on, where am I? Workers' comp.
Yep.
I want to get talking about workers' comp.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the school committee knows, we don't have workers' comp insurance. Never had workers' comp insurance. In order to obtain workers' comp insurance, the financial decision-making body of the community has to vote to do so. And in Scituate, that actually was done way back in 2000. In 2006 or so, the town council adopted a resolution and agreed to enter into a workers' comp program, that is to buy workers' comp insurance. 19 years later, it would be nice if the school department did it. The reason it would be nice is right now, if an employee slips on the ice at Hope Valley, falls off a ladder at Hope, falls off a ladder at Clayville, slips and breaks her leg at North Scituate, you have no insurance at all. So what we're asking here is to establish a program, the first step of which would be to issue an RFP. You have in your package the last RFP that the town issued a couple of years ago. Stephanie would need to modify it to, change the word town of Scituate to Scituate School Department. I can think of at least two workers' comp insurance companies to which it should be sent. That is the Interlocal Trust, which is already your property insurer, and to Beacon Mutual Insurance, which is the largest workers' comp insurer here in Rhode Island.
So sorry, no, go ahead.
I'm asking you to do what probably should have been done 19, really 25 years ago. That is set up a workers' comp program here at the school.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Sure.
I have no points of disagreement. So right now, if somebody gets hurt at work, it goes under their health insurance. Am I correct? Is that?
They can get emergency care on their health insurance, but then they file a claim against us in workers' comp. And we have to reimburse them. And we do not get credit for the health insurance that they pay. We do not get credit for that. You have been had to all of a sudden out of the blue adjust your budgets. Yeah.
So not only does that affect our experience with the health insurance
Yeah.
moving forward
Right.
for our percent increase, but also we pay a fee to Beacon to do our paperwork. And we have to pay a certain amount to the.
This has come up before. Yeah, this has been brought forth, and I don't know, because now that's all clicking. We have an intermediary.
We have somebody
Yeah.
who will do our.
I'm sorry, I mean to point at you, but
They will do our paperwork.
Yeah.
They will settle cases
Mhm.
that are $2,500 or less. But if it's beyond $2,500, you have to have a lawyer. And it is not part of your retainer with me.
Right, and we get charged for that
You
through
have
Beacon.
to, and then you have to pay the employee's damages. And you
brought up for the last however many years. I don't know how this just disappeared again.
it did it. Well, I'm trying to undisappear it.
I do have some rough numbers if it's helpful.
Yeah, please.
So 24-25, around $47,971 was spent just on workers' comp without the salaries aside of the individuals who were out. The year before was the lucky year, 16,000. I think we're running out of luck. It's about 7 people so far, so.
Any idea, roughly speaking, and we're looking for RFPs right at this point, probably.
Yeah.
Any idea of what premiums would run us a year?
Last I checked.
Yeah,
it
just-
was around 80,000.
Okay.
But
Again,
that was like when I first got here.
Yeah, I'm not holding you to it.
So.
The benefits of having insurance, whether it's insurance for workers' comp or insurance on your house, is that if a tree falls on your house, you're not going to be hit with one big fat bill all of a sudden for $50,000 that you haven't budgeted for. Workers' comp cases are also hard in that they are incredibly subjective in terms of how they're valued. I've been kind of very surprised that, if I'm disfigured, I'm going to get, if I have the same scar on my face as Stephanie, the odds are that Stephanie will get a bigger workers' comp recovery than I will.
Are we voting tonight? Are we voting
So,
tonight,
John-
the RFP and,
To establish a program,
but not necessarily,
you'll get the RFP back. You can look at the RFP and say, nope, we want to continue to what we've been doing. Roll the dice. That's right. Ms. Pendergast said it best. So I'm asking simply that we can establish a program by moving forward and getting an RFP.
I make a motion.
Anytime.
I make a motion to move forward with establishment of workers' compensation program, the beginning process of requesting RFPs.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next is, I make a motion to approve the grant of a temporary easement for Rhode Island Department of Transportation.
so move.
The Scituate School Department, who exercises control over Hope Elementary School, was approached by the DOT. They are doing a paving project. And here they do many paving projects around Hope Elementary School. This time, though, they have indicated that they would like to perhaps put things temporarily on the sidewalk. So they have asked us for a, and I'm drawing a blank.
Easement.
Temporary easement of about 6,000 feet. It's literally a strip parallel to the road. We made sure both the superintendent and Mr. Martin, they're not going to block any driveways. They're not going to take away teacher parking. They're not going to take away drop off or pickup. The state is going to pay us a handsome sum of $1. This is for a 3-year period. So I would ask your approval.
Okay, John, we're gonna approve it. So say, they're leaving their, I don't know, grinders or whatever in the thing, and it's interfering with Becca's parents getting into her school. What recourse do, and I know they're saying it's not, but I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Recourse would be for me to call the lawyer at DOT and say, get your stuff moved.
Okay.
It's not in the easement that we gave, because there's nothing that should interfere with parking, ingress, or egress.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second? You made the motion. I don't think you can second it. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next is job description for the Director of Technology.
So I ask that this be put in your packet for approval so that I can get the posting up for a full-time. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on technology for a half-time director of technology. With Jason's departure, you'll see the next item is the job description for the director of facilities. I am asking the school committee to approve both of those job descriptions so that I can get those positions posted, interviewed, and potentially filled as soon as possible. We will need a full-time facilities director. And I have approached our current data manager to see, which is a part-time position, to see if that individual was interested in coming back to the district full-time. And I think the short answer is no. I did tell him to think about it, but he's not been back to my office, so I'm thinking he's done thinking about it. So
Just for clarification, and I know you're, but so so we're looking for a full-time director of technology?
no,
Okay.
a half-time
right.
director of technology at this point in time, just so I get some support in that department based on the fact that Jason was covering that department, and with his leaving, we are not going to find a director of facilities who has the background in technology and those two dual areas of expertise that Jason had.
I
So
think as a point to just move forward is, and I know why we did it and it worked. I think the hard part is, and you and I had a conversation. I think we've done this once before at another. We shouldn't be building a position, and I'm guilty. I'm right. Was in the whole thing. We shouldn't be building a position for a person because
Because once they leave.
exactly. It's just not, we did it for fiscal savings. We did it for this, but it.
yeah, we
leaves us
saved
in-
some money for a few years.
Yeah, but then it puts you at a disadvantage because that's not the.
Well, now I have to come to the committee
Yeah.
and ask that,
Yeah.
you know, you approve the job description in front of you and allow me to post for a half-time technology.
Is there anything that, I think Andy Brown's gonna be my new best friend with all his consultants and stuff. Are there any other companies out there that do this on a consulting basis, or is that even feasible?
I don't have the answer to that, Colleen. I can research it. I think that if you approve the job description and authorize me to explore the possibilities within, Stephanie and I know that we have to work within the total salary, you know, and budgeted amount. So I can explore what the options are around getting services provided, but I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either, so it's just a question.
I'd have to try to find out.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the job description for the Director of Technology.
Second.
Any discussion for the job description for technology? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now the job description for the facilities director?
It's the same thing. I need the committee to approve that job description so that I can post it for a full-time facilities director. And that is the same job description that we posted when we hired Jason, with the addition of 3 items on the bottom of the duties. It was clear that those were not specifically outlined, so we wanted to make sure that they were added. But it is essentially the same job description.
I make a motion to approve the job description for the Director of Facilities.
Second.
Any discussion?
Lori, and I'm sorry, I know we just approved this, but as I'm flipping pages, I thought, I'm going back to Director of Technology just in case. So I thought you said a part-time position, but on the last page, it's a work week of 40 hours.
Yeah, we will not be
Oh.
posting it as a full-time position.
Okay,
It
so
will
that-
be,
that'll-
it'll be,
okay.
yes, that,
Halftime.
I just wanted you to approve the duties and the responsibilities part of it.
Okay.
The hours we will work with, it'll be halftime.
For this job description, I don't see like well, I don't see a job description on it like you did on the first one. The format's different. And or how many hours it's for
For the,
director of operations.
that is the same job description that was posted and approved by this committee when we hired Jason. So
Okay.
that's why I pulled it and brought it to you.
I was wondering if we could,
Do you want it in the same format?
is anyone else interested in seeing it in the same format? Because it doesn't tell
We
us
can
as
do
much
that.
Yeah.
information.
Do anything.
Yep. How many hours it's for.
40 hours.
I think
That's for the
For the-
operations 40 hours.
I don't know
Yeah.
that it would delineate 40 hours. It's a full-time director's position. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's usually delineated as
Yeah.
it's a salary.
It's a salaried position generally.
My guess is
It's true,
previous
you're
directors
right.
work 40 hours a week.
Right.
Or current.
Did you have a comment?
Yes. Brendan Wachowski, Baker Lane. Just a question. So I know that with the previous director of operations, that job also included coordinating the busing for the district. Is that going to be a separate job again? Or is that going to be on which one is that?
That is under Director of Operations.
Wait, but in this new format, there isn't going to be a director of operations. It's split into 2, right?
The Director of
Facilities.
Sorry.
Okay.
Director of Facilities is going to continue to do the transportation piece. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure it's in there because I probably missed it. I was looking for the word busing and there you go.
The transportation. We-
Sorry.
No, that's okay, Brendan. We will go back. Stephanie looked at it. I looked at it. We will go back and ensure that that is in there, but yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think I looked for that as well, and I may have missed it.
You didn't see it?
I may have missed it, but I didn't see it because I was curious as well.
Yes.
Did you find it, Colleen?
No, I was just saying
It did say
it just is on the list,
operation.
So I think Jason's position was more director of operations, including technology, and that's even on the description, it needs to go back to director of facilities. Type of kind of be standard throughout.
Yep.
Okay. Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is superintendent's contract extension. I was asked to have this put on the agenda. I was wondering if there's any discussion before we go to a vote and or public comment. Hearing none, is there any public comment on this? Because I see someone coming up.
Matthew Allen, 159 Hope Furnace Road. Bobby's on her way to Maine, but she messaged me. She has work, but she has a couple questions. So she would like to know why, if we are voting on this, why are we doing it now if her contract isn't also up yet? And what exactly is when her contract is ending? And are we open and having an interview including Lori, not saying that she might not be the best fit, but are we exploring any other options? And for her contract. I'm guessing she wants to know if we're looking at other people, not just accepting her contract. That's how I'm interpreting that.
So it's up on the agenda now because I was asked to put it on the agenda by other school committee members. And this contract that's being proposed ends.
Is it June? Oh no, that's the proposed one.
Give me a second. My computer shut down. If anyone sees it before me, speak up.
I thought it was June, but I
It
could be
is
mistaken.
June.
Oh, the current,
It's
Yeah.
the current
June.
contract?
this
The current one,
The
June
current
30th.
one
What it
ends,
extend out to.
current one ends June 30th. And the one that is in our packet ends June 30th,
2026.
3 years from now.
Is a year, so
I'm looking for it.
Take your time, it wasn't my question.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Landed it. '28. June 30th, 2028 would be when this one would end.
Okay.
And at this time, there's no proposal for interviewing anybody else. Did that answer all 3 questions?
So the vote, if you take one tonight, is to extend it or just to talk about it?
It's the vote is whether or not to
Extend.
approve an extension.
Okay. Oh, Bobby's on. There you go.
See if you can hear him.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Bobby Coletta, 9 Brett Drive. Which committee member asked to put it on the agenda? And I'm just curious, like, why are we voting on it now when we still have the whole school year ahead of us? Is there a reason, or what was the intention behind that?
Anyone want to answer that?
What I'm seeing on her current contract, we need to notify her by February for this contract, otherwise it's automatic extension beyond. So we need to kind of stop preparing for that and have a discussion and planning accordingly. It doesn't, we can't just make a determination in June. We have to make a determination by February.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think that's fair, obviously, for Lori as well. I'm just curious, like, I mean, from my perspective, the first that I knew that this was up for discussion was when I saw the agenda come out. So I'm sure that many other parents, maybe administrators, want to contribute to the conversation. So I feel like having a vote tonight is a little premature, given that we have like 4 more meetings before that February date. But that's my assessment of this. Like, the first time that many of us saw it was on this agenda. And I guess, like, what is the criteria that the school committee will be voting against, like, to keep, to renew it? Like, what is the criteria that you set forth for her to beat? And, I guess where has she benchmark, or, what is your decision criteria would be my next question.
So actually, the evaluation, the extension of the contract does coincide with the completion of an evaluation by the school committee based on the superintendent's goals and a review of her previous years and an update of the most recent goals set to move forward. Do we have those listed on, probably not the newest ones, because we just
Yeah, not the
received
new
them.
ones.
But we do have those, your goals are aligned with the district goals, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. Anyone? Mr. Finnegan?
Is there a motion on the floor?
No, there is not.
I like to commend the school committee, like putting this on the agenda. I think there should be a motion to extend the superintendent's contract. I believe she has done a fantastic job. We had a budget deficit in the school department prior to Superintendent Andres getting here, and now we don't. And I just for that reason alone, I would extend her contract. That reason alone. Town doesn't have a surplus. We're always behind working out a deficit. So I can commend the superintendent for that. I commend the school committee also for doing that. But she has worked hard. She's always, at least to me, she's always accessible. You call the office, you want to talk to her, you get to her if there's any issues. I think if the school committee gave her more authority and did their job and let her do her job without any interference, I think it would be a better school system. And we saw that tonight here, where some parents are upset and we didn't get any answers. But I believe if Superintendent Andres is given the authority, she can handle anything. So I would hope that the school committee extends her contract for the 2 extra years. And I think this is the appropriate time. Superintendents come and go. If she leaves, who are we going to get? That's what you have to ask yourself. And why is she here and the past superintendents aren't? We have to ask ourselves that too. And I have to commend you. Thank you for doing a great job.
Do I have a motion on the floor?
I would like to make a motion to extend the superintendent's contract.
Oh, who?
Who does?
Who does? Somebody else does. He has someone on the TV.
I'm gonna get through this motion
Does he?
into the discussion part,
That's it.
and then I will see. So I have a motion.
Second.
Now I'll take discussion.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Michael Smith, 241 Hope Furnace Road.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Hi, guys. Sorry I couldn't be there tonight. So I just wanted to talk about this briefly. I mean, Lori, you've been great to work with over the last year and a half that I've been kind of chatting with you. And it's not a personal matter, but as kind of Bobby brought up, we have a lot of meetings between now and February. I don't see why we have to make the decision now. I think that a lot more people will have a lot more things to say about this situation if we even table it till next month. I don't see the point of rushing into this situation right now and making a decision that, and if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Lori's contract, if you guys did renew it and decided at some point during it you wanted to terminate her, it is a full buyout of that contract. Is that correct?
We're not terminating anybody.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Oh.
Again, I'm saying if you choose
I'm like,
right
we're not
now.
terminating anybody.
No, and I'm not saying to do that. I'm simply saying that, say a year from now, you guys decide, you know what? This 3-year extension was not right for us. We do want to actually terminate Lori's employment with us. How do you go about doing that? Is that a full buyout of the contract?
The answer is no, if there is cause.
Okay,
It has to have a reason they want to terminate it. They have a reason, a valid reason to terminate the contract. There is no payout, there isn't a dollar payout.
okay.
The school committee
Thanks,
wants
John.
to terminate for convenience, different story.
Okay, thank you, John. And again, I mean, even with that being said, I still don't understand why we need to make this decision now, being again that you have until, I mean, at least February. I'm not saying we wait that long, obviously, but there's a lot of time between now and then for us to figure a lot more things out. And kind of like Bobby, kind of like a lot of other people I'm sure in the room, I was only aware of this extension when I saw the agenda come out. So I don't think it's fair that the people of Scituate heard about it literally within the last few days, and now all of a sudden we're taking a vote on it and extending it three years already.
No, we're extending
Um,
it by 2 years. It's already.
Sorry, I apologize. Sorry, yes,
Yep.
sorry, yep. I'm in 25. I'm doing the math here and not. Sorry, guys, but yes. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't necessarily do it. I'm just simply saying that I don't know why we can't hold off. This isn't a decision that needs to be made today. So, and I mean, unless you guys somehow think you need to make a decision today, I don't know how that's valid in this, but that's, I just wanted to say my 2 cents as a taxpayer here in Scituate. So thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Some comment on that too. The first time I came onto school committee, Lori was going through this process, and I think if I recall right, it was going kind of hand in hand. We had just done her annual review and her contract was going to be ending. And so it went hand in hand with doing her review as we have just completed doing her annual review, and it went hand in hand with that where we went into the extension of her contract. And that's what we did last time, if I recall. So it's, I think it goes in conjunction with it is why.
So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? I will do roll call. So the motion is to approve the extension of the superintendent's contract. I'll go with Lori first.
Nay. Nay.
I'll go with Dave.
Nay.
Colleen Rose,
Yes, extend.
Colleen Pendergast,
Yes.
and myself is a nay. So that motion fails. Is there another motion on the floor?
So we just did the evaluation. So the evaluation will not extend the contract. Is that what we're saying? So when will that be?
I think there's still another opportunity for a motion on the floor, so I can answer that.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Is there another opportunity is there a motion on the floor?
You mean for what? An
Yeah, I'm
extension?
confused what you're asking
I am
for.
too. I just got.
I'm not, I think we
I
need
thought we were
clarity.
done.
So the agenda item says the superintendent's contract extension. You're right, my mistake. So we voted to not extend the
it.
contract.
That's why I thought it was done.
And your question was?
No, you said it would be answered with whatever you had to. I don't know if you had a motion or.
No.
Okay.
What was your question?
No, it's you answered it.
So it's my understanding that the contract does not extend. So then we get into the elimination of policy.
Could I ask a question before we move on? So her current contract, and John, maybe you need to answer this. Her current contract expires in June, and if we don't make a decision by February, it renews. So does that mean?
We just made that decision.
I know, that's why I'm just trying to get clarity. So that means it ends. She doesn't have the ability to extend.
No, is there a clause? I don't know if some of the contracts are written that if we don't We
I
would,
thought we just made.
because we have to, and I can't remember which one's top of my head, but there are clauses in the contracts that if we do not, go ahead.
Colleen is correct. The contract says that it will automatically extend from July 1st, 26 to June 30th, 27, unless the school committee provides written notice of its intention not to renew by February 1st.
So it would be a 1-year extension
It would be a 1-year
without
extension.
notice.
So this vote doesn't, what does this vote do?
Colleen, Ms. Rose's
Mhm.
question was, is there an automatic extension? The answer is, if the school committee takes no action, now at February 1st, the answer is yes.
And the action has to be in writing.
The action has to be in writing. In other words,
Okay.
you have to take a vote, and it has to then be put in the form of a writing letter. to the
So
state
this,
senate.
this vote right now was the vote and now it has to be put in writing?
No,
No.
that's, that was for a 2-year extension. So this is absolutely not saying that.
Yes.
I think for the record, and I'm just gonna go out there on a limb here, and everyone's asking why we're doing this now that we're doing this. We're doing this right now because for the last 6 months, the chair of this school committee has acted in ways that impeded the superintendent's ability to run a district. She has exceeded her scope as a chair of a committee. The chair of a school committee, their job is to run the meetings and set the agenda. Unfortunately, Mrs. McCormick has acted in such ways where she has exerted authority that doesn't belong to her. And it was the will of the committee. No, I'm just
know.
making,
I
making a
think
point. We
I
had,
don't
we had
think-
2 questions why, so I figured I'd answer that, Dave. I thought you'd want to know because this is very different than the discussions we had in executive session. So, which obviously cannot be discussed. So that's why it's brought up now. It's very difficult for the chief operating officer of a district to run a district when they're being impeded by someone who does not actually have the authority. That's why, if that answers anyone's questions.
Kate Globally Little, 18 Pleasant Lane, Clayville, Lori. And all of you know, I was very, very, very vocal when Mrs. Hess, our 4th principal, quit. And all of you guys on school committee, when you had all the parents up here saying that we had a petition for her to step down, you guys said, oh, we couldn't do that. We couldn't break our contract. And Lori, I give you a lot of credit. I have called you every time. I feel like over the last few years, I have totally changed my thought and my respect for you. You have taken every one of my phone calls. We've had meetings in person. You've given me your cell phone number, and you have been the advocate with Colleen Pendergast to get an HR department in this town. You have listened to your parents, you have listened to Clayville, and you've heard some hard words, and you have done a real huge turnaround to do the PACT committee, to hear like every parent, and to hear that we are not in a huge deficit, that we are running our fiscal budget well. This is a huge surprise. Like, thank you for saying something, Colleen, because I say it every time. There is no news in this town. There is no town manager. There's no town charter. What happened at the financial town meeting was crazy, crazy. Like, that you have all these people begging for our school budget. And to hear what happened this summer in that meeting with your husband on town council, like, I would be the first parent a few years ago that was asking you guys for her resignation because of the problems we had at Clayville with our turnover. And I really give Mrs. Andrews a lot of credit for listening to all the issues that people had and turning it around and doing the parent advisory committee and advocating for human resources and taking every one of my meetings, every one of my phone calls, and then giving me her cell phone number.
I'm a little shocked. I kind of had no idea you guys were doing this. And I really didn't think you were about to vote officially. And again, no one in the town knows what's going on. And it was very apparent that in May, when we were asking for the budget for Hope and for money to not be taken, it was completely apparent, Mrs. McCormick, that you were speaking on behalf of town council in the town, and you actually kept saying the town doesn't have the money, the town doesn't have the money. You are an advocate for the school department and for the students and for the teachers. And a lot of people feel that that is not what you're standing for.
I welcome any time if you want to call me and have a conversation. I would really,
We're talking about this now. Nobody
Yep.
knew that this was happening.
I welcome any conversation
Well,
anytime.
next time we're doing a budget for the school, don't talk about the town's needs. You're supposed to be focused on the school's needs. And we shouldn't be getting rid of a superintendent who has a fiscal budget that is in such good standing right now because of polls from town council and school committee.
Any other comments? Bobby Coletta, is it a leftover hand or is it a new one? Okay. So it's leftover. Okay. Hi, Bobby, you're on.
Hi, guys. And I want to echo those feelings that Lori, you have done a tremendous job of involving the parents and getting feedback, even the uncomfortable ones. And you've done a fantastic job. My whole statement today was just, we don't know what we don't know, and like the immediacy of the vote. Colleen, thank you for that, sharing that color on why it was being presented today. I think that makes a lot more sense for all of us on listening. So thank you for that additional detail. And, I just want to comment to that point too, is that Lori, I mean, I feel like you've done a great job trying to turn around some of our perceptions, and you've done what you can. I think that it's just one of those things that as a taxpayer and as a community member, right, we have to give people the opportunity to come forward or, have an opinion and have a discussion. So I hope that and I don't know legally, right, if you guys have just said, no, we didn't extend the contract, can this be revisited next month with additional comment where maybe that we could, again, I don't know the parameters of this, but I certainly don't want Lori to feel either like, it's the end of the road for her either. Like I was looking for like, what are our options? What as far as soliciting information, advice and thoughts from other community members. So it wasn't just this vote that we just saw, a couple days ago.
Thank you. If no other comment, I was going to move on to the policy discussion. Do I have a motion to eliminate policy 1100 for public records? And to be clear, this is eliminated because it was revised when we wrote the policy procedure for requests for public records, which is 1120. So we're eliminating this because it is in a new revised policy.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to eliminate policy 8170, loss or damaged textbook materials of equipment? Just to be clear, the next policies that I will be listing are included in the new policy 7000.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to eliminate policy. Hold on.
7,000.
Yes. What's our new?
Wait a minute, thought you did that one already.
What's our new policy? Oh, I guess we have a revised one. Eliminate policy 7000, instructional resources and material.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to eliminate policies 7010, textbook selection and adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to eliminate policy 7020 supplementary material selection.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I make a motion to eliminate policy 7040 use of copyrighted materials.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to eliminate policy 7070 cyclical textbook purchase policy.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I make any announcements? I make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.